Welcome back to Oulton Park, where Colin Turkington is just leading the cars around on their formation lap ahead of our first race of the day here. Let's take a look at the rest of the grid with a commentary team of 1992 British Touring Car champion Tim Harvey and first, Ben Edwards.
Thanks very much, Warren. Welcome everybody to Oulton Park as we're getting ready for the first touring car race of the day. And this is how they line up. Colin Turkington on pole with Gordon Shedden alongside, and Matt Neal representing Team Halfords as well. They're well up on the grid. Darren Turner is fourth, Jason Plato fifth, and Fabrizio Giovanardi is in sixth position. Behind them in seventh, we've got Mike Jordan. He's carrying the radio for us this weekend. Adam Jones is eighth. Matt Jackson is ninth, and then Tom Chilton in the second Vauxhall is 10th. Gareth Howell and Matt Allison, the two teammates, are together on the sixth row of the grid. There's always so little to choose between them. David Pinkney and Jason Hughes on row 7. Simon Blankley and Chris Stockton on row 8. Chris, a local man to this Chester track. Richard Marsh and Tom Onslow-Cole down on the 9th row. Tom had a crash in qualifying yesterday. Erkut is back in 19th place out of John George. Then we've got Martin Bell and Fiona Leggett. Rick Kerry's back in the diesel BMW, and Jim Poppington completes the grid. That's how they line up then. It is round 13 of the championship coming up. We are at and around the half distance mark in the championship now. A crucial stage, Tim, no doubt about it, and it's the BMW of Colin Turkington that starts from pole.
Yeah, the first test is going to be, can we get all these cars away from the line? You saw how tightly packed they are. We've had crashes before. We're now adding in the mix of the fast starting BMWs, and then, you know, if we can get around the first corner, can Turkington get his tyres up to pressure and resist the early attacks from the two Halfords cars?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Impressive run in qualifying from Colin Turkington. He has taken pole position for the second time from a qualifying session. He's the only driver to have done that. We've got a report of an air jack hanging down on one of the MGs, so that's either Jason Hughes' car or Fiona Leggett's car, so there may be a problem with one of the bioethanol powered MGs a bit further on down the grid. Watch out for the two Team Halfords cars. They've been going extremely well this weekend. The Honda Civic, the new shape car which came in this year, has been very rapid around this Oulton Park circuit. Let's see what they can do, and watch for the battle in the championship between Jason Plato and Fabrizio Giovanardi. They're together on row 3 of the grid. We're all set for round 13 of the championship. The lights go out, and it's a quick getaway for the BMW and a slow getaway for Matt Neal. Matt Neal was very, very slow from third on the grid and under a lot of pressure there. So it's Colin Turkington leading from Gordon Shedden and getting squeezed out. Darren Turner, Matt Jackson's on the grass as well.
Yeah, Matt Jackson had a brilliant start. He came all the way through and then just got pushed wide on the first corner. But so far at the front, you're absolutely right. Turkington's away with under pressure from Shedden.
Yeah, and look who's come up into third place. Fabrizio Giovanardi's had a very good start. Here comes the Scotsman, Gordon Shedden trying to get round the Irishman. Colin Turkington couldn't quite make it happen. Turkington holding on just about. Watch out for Giovanardi behind them, trying to make it a three-way battle for the lead. This is the key thing here, Tim, is that the BMW sometimes takes a lap or two to really generate some tyre temperature.
Yeah, it was taking 5 or 6 laps to get the ultimate out of it in qualifying, so Turkington knew he was going to be under pressure in these early laps, but we've seen it before at Hamlet. If he can survive the early laps, he could be quick.
So Turkington it is who leads at the moment. Shedden shadowing him in second place. Then it's Fabrizio Giovanardi, only 2 points behind Plato coming into this race, remember, and Plato is some 3 or 4 places behind Giovanardi. Giovanardi could take the championship lead if the points stay as they are provisionally at the moment. Turkington still under pressure though as we come up towards Lodge Corner. This is a favourite overtaking spot. Shedden has a think about it, but Turkington covers the inside, and Giovanardi benefits because they both went in tight. Let's watch them up the hill. Flashing through Deer Leap there, and Giovanardi's got Matt Neal, who's caught back up after a very slow start.
Yeah, strong first lap from Matt Neal, looking very aggressive. Shedden down the inside, across the curve, is their contact. They're side by side. Turkington's lost grip on the outside.
And now he's trying to defend second, but he can't, and Giovanardi's through into second place. Gordon Shedden takes the lead of the race, but now it's the Vauxhall right behind him, pushing as hard as possible through Cascades. Turkington drops down to third place. He's now under pressure from reigning champion Matt Neal, but it's Matt Neal's teammate Gordon Shedden who's made the move into the lead of this race, with the Italian Fabrizio Giovanardi following him, almost alongside him at the island hairpin. And watch out for Matt Jackson in the white and black BMW. He's close. Oh, and off John George. He's spun down the hairpin.
Yeah, he's off. Is he alone or is there someone else with him? Meanwhile, Gordon Shedden, who won his first ever British touring car race here in the first race last year, is out to get another one.
Well, he's driving well. Darren Turner might have been involved down there at the hairpin. Looks as though there's damage to the car. Oh, what a shame. The man who won his class at Le Mans last week. It's all over very early in the first race of the day here at Oulton Park. Gordon Shedden leads. It's the Vauxhall in second place of Fabrizio Giovanardi. Third position at the moment, the BMW of Colin Turkington. Then behind him, it's Matt Neal, followed by Matt Jackson. And Shedden is beginning to make a bit of a break here in the Team Halford's car. He's opened up a car or two length over Fabrizio Giovanardi, out of Lodge Corner, back onto start-finish. And he's definitely making a little bit of a break here.
Yeah, he's flying, but here's on board with Jason Plato. Matt Neal getting too much wheel spin. Plato dives there. Watch Jackson. Jackson's on a run here, and then he gets a touch with Turner that puts them both wide. Through goes Matt Neal to regain the places he lost, and Plato is alongside Matt Jackson.
Interesting that, but Plato is now down in 7th position, having lost a place, interestingly, to Tom Chilton. So Chilton has gained 6th. Pinkney in trouble with a very bent-looking motor car.
That's a broken rear track rod. Your rear wheel, you can see it will be pointing in there. He'll get that back, and not a lot of other damage on that car, so whether that's broken going over the curbs or not, I don't know, but it's not a difficult fix, but it's going to put him out of this race.
Yeah, really crabbing his way back to the pits, isn't he? Shedden leads in the Team Halford's car from the Vauxhall Vectra of Team VXR. Fabrizio Giovanardi second, Colin Turkington, the pole sitter. He's in 3rd place now, chased by Matt Neal and Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson, of course, one of the independents in this year's championship. He's trying to move up through the order. Plato down in 7th, Jordan in 8th, Jason Hughes in 9th place, so he's moved up quite well from qualifying 14th on the grid. Then it's Adam Jones, who lost a couple of places from earlier on. Allison is in 13th place, and he's followed by Onslow Cole. Let's see what happened to Turner. Oh, well, there was already been contact.
Turner and Pinkney got together. Turner's right front and Pinkney's left rear, and John George going off in sympathy.
Yeah, I quite know what happened. He suddenly arrived in mid-shot, didn't he? Already spinning. There is Colin Turkington still trying to hold on to 3rd from Matt Neal right behind him. Matt Neal, oh, again, Turkington's a bit wide. He's on the grass there, coming out of Old Hall. This could put him under pressure as they come down the hill, looking back at Matt Neal. Will Matt Neal go to the inside? No, he can't, because Turkington covers it. But Matt Neal might get the better run out of the corner. He's got to watch his own mirrors, though, because the BMW of Matt Jackson is right behind him. Wonderful touring car racing here at one of the best circuits in the country. Oulton Park in Cheshire, and oh, that's a mistake from Turkington. That's allowed Matt Neal to almost get alongside, rubbing, touching as they come up the hill.
Well, Matt Neal's desperate to try and get on the right-hand side, but Turkington was protecting the rear. I thought a lap or so ago they were starting to catch up to the back of Giovanardi, but this pressure from Matt Neal is making them drop back. Unless Matt can get through quickly, Turkington's going to hold them up.
So this little queue of cars, Turkington, then Matt Neal, then Jackson, then Tom Chilton, who, as I mentioned earlier, got past Jason Plato somewhere on that 1st or 2nd lap. So Chilton made some progress, but now they're all effectively queuing up a little bit. Turkington's car probably beginning to get a bit quicker now that the tyres are up to temperature, and they may be able to spread that out over the next lap or so. But up front, there's no doubt about Gordon Shedden and Fabrizio Giovanardi running 1 and 2. Turkington there in car number 3, running in 3rd place. And they come back past the start line again in just a moment. Tom Chilton still looking pretty fast himself in the 2nd of the Vauxhalls. Didn't really qualify very well yesterday. Felt he'd gone the wrong way with the car setup, but he does seem to be fighting hard. Again, Matt Neal trying to get alongside Colin Turkington.
Yeah, well, Tom Chilton's already had an expensive weekend this weekend. He bet the whole team that he'd be on the front 2 rows this weekend, and the bet was dinner at an expensive restaurant, so it's cost him something. He needs to regain some prize money maybe by getting up the front.
Yeah, well, let's see what he can do. He's got a chance. We've still got some way to go here. We're on lap 5 out of 15, so there's still plenty of time left to try and get something done here. But Turkington's got his mirrors full, there's no doubt about it. He's got to work quite hard. Brilliant effort in qualifying yesterday by the Irishman. He really is a superb qualifier, is Colin Turkington, in that Team RAC car, Tim. He proved it once again yesterday.
Yeah, he did, and I mean, I think I mentioned before, I was talking to Rob Collard, his former teammate, and he said he couldn't believe how he could always find extra time in qualifying, and it's something that the great drivers always done. I remember Menu used to do it, Ricard Rydell used to do it. They would always set an aim to set their fastest lap of the weekend ever in qualifying, and that's something that Colin can do. But he's just starting to find his feet now. He's not having to defend all the potential overtaking points from Matt Neal, and this could be how he'll he'll pick up on Giovanardi.
Not been a particularly kind track this to Turkington over recent years. He's only had one podium finish here in the last 4 years. He's currently holding third, but Matt Neal's going to keep that pressure on him. Matt Neal was a winner here last year. Of course, so was Gordon Shedden, who is currently leading this race when he took his first ever win here.
Yeah, and as we said, that Turkington sets the fastest lap of the race. So that proves he's now on target.
Now there's his teammate, Tom Onslow-Cole, down in 11th place. He crashed in qualifying yesterday, Tim, and in fact it was this area we're coming to now that he went off.
It was down here on the second flying lap of practice. He turned in here with a cold right rear tyre, got on the outside there and spun off to the left. Very nearly what he did there.
Yeah, it's almost giving us a little demonstration of what he did, but thankfully without the end result. He wiped out the sort of right-hand side of the car, didn't he? Did quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, it was largely cosmetic, nothing structural bent, but a lot of damage done to the car and a loss of face for him. So he's trying to regain that now, fighting with Matt Allison in the Motorbase Toledo.
Still, he's been a very impressive debut runner in British touring cars this year. He's certainly one of the best rookies out there, but he's racing, as you say, with Matt Allison, who's been a very impressive rookie. Lovely to see new talent coming into British touring cars this year. Some youngsters really showing their abilities. Matt Jackson's another one. He's currently running in 5th place in this race. You can just see him popping into vision there. But Gordon Shedden has a comfortable lead here at the moment, 1.5 seconds over Fabrizio Giovanardi. Giovanardi will be very happy with this current second place. He's carrying 36 kilos of ballast, and his main rival here, Jason Plato, is all the way down in 7th position.
Yeah, 5 places behind, so big advantage to Giovanardi at the moment, having not particularly looked strong in qualifying and free practice, but then, as we say, it's very difficult for the two guys leading the championship to look good in free practice and qualifying because they're carrying maximum ballast.
That's right, and it's always a tough task for the championship leader, in this case Jason Plato, carrying the maximum ballast of 45 kilos. He's got to qualify the car with maximum ballast and do this first race with maximum ballast, and it's only after this race that it's all reset depending on the finishing positions from this race. So then, if he stays where he is now, he'll lose all the ballast.
Yeah, and going back to Turkington, another fastest lap, half a second quicker than Giovanardi, and you can see the gap has come down.
That is interesting, isn't it? As you said, the BMW's now coming on strong. Now those tyres are up to temperature, and suddenly Giovanardi's second place is looking under threat here from Colin Turkington. The car's working well. He's taking Matt Neal with him, so this is becoming a three-way dice for second position, and this is one to watch because we're not even quite at half distance in this race yet.
No, still some way to go, and Giovanardi's going to be under pressure.
So the Italian, we've seen him soak up the pressure in the past. He's the winner of 5 races already this year. Interestingly enough, of the 12 races we've had coming into this meeting, 9 of the races have been won by either Giovanardi there or Jason Plato. Such is their margin, if you like, in dominating the championship, the two of them. Giovanardi, we've seen him win everywhere we've been to the last few occasions. He was a winner at Thruxton, at Rockingham, at Croft as well, and now he's got this job of trying to hold on to second place with the ballast and with a BMW and a fast Honda behind him.
Yeah, we had the incredible situation of 9 different drivers filling the podium spots at Croft over the 3 races, so it really is ebb and flow with the championship positions, but at the moment Giovanardi's still got the advantage over Plato.
That's right, yes, and he'll gain that bit more of an advantage. He will take the championship lead if things stay as they are now, because he's holding on to second place. There's a little bit of a sideways moment for Turkington. I'm not sure if he had any assistance from Matt Neal. Both of them sorted it out nicely, and they're back up and over the hill once again, down towards Knickerbrook. Some pretty heavy braking here. This is an area where they sometimes can get into trouble. The front-wheel drive cars braking late, back into the car gets very light, very twitching. We've seen cars off across the grass there many times in the past. So far so good, they've all kept it clean, and then they're out of that section, climbing back uphill once again, and really threading the needle in this section, Tim, aren't they? Because it's very fast here.
It's very fast, and obviously it's over a blind crest as well. They're diving here right down 2 gears, clipping the first apex, clipping the second, and then bouncing over that little crest there, which can sometimes throw the car wide over the rumble strips, and then down to another bumpy braking area. There are sort of 3 or 4 good overtaking places here, but all the braking on the inside is very bumpy.
Yes, it is. This Oulton Park circuit, 2.25 miles long. It's a bit like your favourite ever piece of B road, the way it climbs and drops. It's got off-camber corners, fast corners, hairpins, heavy braking areas, everything you could want really in a great racing track, and that's why the drivers love it so much. Just looking back here, watching from Fabrizio Giovanardi at Colin Turkington. This is the battle for second place, and look how close that BMW is getting once again. Matt Neal in the background, the Honda looking beautifully balanced through that Cascades corner. The whole car seemed to be in a lovely four-wheel drift, and they come back down to the hairpin. This is always potential for drama here.
Yeah, just as they come into that braking area, they go over a little crest, which makes the front wheels go fractionally light. So it's easy to lock the front wheels up there. And of course, on a front-wheel drive car, you lock the front wheels and you stall the engine.
Yeah, so that's a major issue. Shedden continues to lead from this group. Behind him are Giovanardi in the Vauxhall, Turkington in the Team RAC car, Matt Neal in the Team Halfords car. Then there's a slight gap back to Matt Jackson, and then Tom Chilton running in 6th place in the second of the Vauxhalls. Jason Plato still in 7th place, can't really make much progress carrying all that ballast. Remember, we lost Darren Turner in the other Seat early in this race, and that's bad news from Seat's point of view. They're very close in the Teams Championship with Vauxhall. There's only 3 points between them at the moment, so it looks as though Vauxhall are going to take the advantage here in this one. Still Giovanardi managing to protect his position. There is the lead. That gives you a really good idea. There's the gap. First to second, third, fourth. So it's really that battle for second that is so close at the moment, and Gordon Shedden is enjoying himself out in front of this race currently. So through Old Hall once again. Again the view back from Giovanardi. Notice how they use the curve out of that corner. Giovanardi's second visit to Oulton Park, of course. He raced here last year when Vauxhall were running the Astra Sport Hatch. He actually had a very competitive second race. He finished in second position, chasing Matt Neal. Like all the drivers, he came to know and love this track very much, and he's enjoying himself at the moment in this new car, the Vectra, that has been developed for this year, which has been so strong at all of the circuits that we've been to so far. Well, they did seem to struggle yesterday morning, and I was surprised at that. I thought this place would suit the Vauxhall, but actually they did seem to fight to find the pace.
Yeah, I had a chat with Mike Nicholson from Vauxhall, and he said they've actually given up trying to decide which tracks they'll be quick and slow at, because, you know, every time they think they're going to a track that will suit them, it doesn't, and when they don't think it is, it does. And the same almost goes for Seat, really. So I think we just get on and enjoy the racing now.
I love it. It's so open, isn't it, this year? I mean, you know, it really is very, very open. And now that the Team Halfords cars are fully on the pace, remember they were so late in being finished over the winter. One of the key guys, the designer, David Potter, had a serious illness over the winter, and that really set the team back. But he'll be watching this from home, I'm sure, and enjoying seeing Gordon Shedden leading the race, and Matt Neal in great shape as well. He is carrying some ballast, remember, Matt Neal, because he is running third in the championship, so he's got a bit more work to do here.
Yeah, but Shedden is the one that's really controlled this relatively incident-free race in the first race. No instance off the start line, no tyres going flying, so all my predictions went out the window. But it's early days yet.
Yeah.
There's still 2 races and the rest of this one to go. But so far, everyone keeping their powder dry. But Shedden's driven a really good race. He took advantage of his tyre grip in the first couple of laps to push past quite aggressively on Turkington, and he stretched away and really controlled this race.
That's right, yes, he took advantage of that slight gap that Turkington offered. It wasn't much of a gap, but Shedden certainly made the most of it. A bit like Giovanardi did in that final race at Croft a couple of weeks ago when he got past Tom Onslow Cole. You've got to go for those moves when they come up. When it's so tight as it is this year, so competitive, if there is half a move on, you almost have to go for it. It's the only opportunity you're going to get. Behind them, still Matt Jackson, running in a very smooth and composed 5th place. Remember, it's a family-run team, that Jackson Motorsports car, and in fact, his brother Dan has come in now as team manager. His father is team principal, so it's another good effort. This was into the hairpin last time. How close was the BM?
That close, yeah. It was crunchingly close, wasn't it? But that often happens when you're just running into that hairpin, and the front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive cars have different entry speeds, and he was certainly close enough there. One little shout out for Gareth Howell and the Motorbase team, because we saw him in the pits with a drive shaft problem. Well, he did get out at the back of the grid at the start. He's up to 13.
That's a good effort from Gareth Howell, very good effort, and it might allow him to get something out of today. There was some good racing going on further back, as Plato seems to be a bit closer to the back of Tom Chilton coming out of Lodge Corner. No doubt about it, Plato was a little bit closer there to the back of Chilton. But meanwhile, we've still got this race going on for second. They're going past Jim Poplington, just lapping him there. Here's Turkington with a little bit of a chance, not really on though, so he has to just back out of the potential overtaking manoeuvre down through Cascades, slot back into 3rd place. We're on lap 12 out of 15 laps. There's been no safety car period so far, so it's just looking like a straight run from lights to flag here, and Gordon Shedden controlling the race by 2.2 seconds. Turkington though with the fastest lap, which he set back on lap number 6. And he's still keeping Fabrizio Giovanardi very honest. Giovanardi with his lights on there, in the Vauxhall. Look behind though, and you can see that Jason Plato is close behind Chilton. Oh, they've got to try and get past Pocklington into Lickerbrook. This could help Plato here.
Yeah, to be fair, Jim Pocklington had no choice really but to turn in. He's now kept wide and let the two of them through. Plato's got a little run here at Chilton. Will he be able to use it going into Druids? But that Vauxhall has a very strong engine, and you can see there up the hill the power advantage and the aerodynamic disadvantage of the Seat there allowed the Vauxhall to get away, even though Plato had a better exit.
Now, was he quick enough through Druids? That's where the Seat chassis is so good through that double apex fast right-hander. He's close, but I'm sure he's close enough. It's a lodge. He maybe thinks about it. He's trying to hassle Chilton, trying to push him into a mistake, but Chilton's been here long enough to know not to do that.
Yeah, great demonstration there of the differences in the car, because Chilton pulled away up the hill, but then Jason pulled it all back through the fast Druids bend and nearly got an opportunity to pass on the brakes.
So Plato keeps the pressure on Tom Chilton, and it's all for 6th place at the moment. Every place makes a difference at the moment with the championship battle so close between Giovinardi and Plato. Down through Cascades they go, wonderful corner that. To get it just right is always difficult. Here's that race for 2nd between Giovinardi, Turkington and Matt Neal. And the double champion Matt Neal really wants to try and squeeze his way through here if he can, but he also wants to keep that car in one piece. It is still race 1 of 3 races here today, and if you get into trouble in race 1, it can take you the rest of the day to try and pick up the pieces. So keeping the car in one piece in this stage of the meeting, absolutely critical.
Yeah, Matt Neal does have a habit, doesn't he, of having an attack on the last couple of laps, and he's certainly trying to reinvent himself this weekend with yet another different hairstyle. He's dyed his hair. I don't know why he feels the need to do that, but maybe he's inventing a new brand of colour, which is called Just for Matt.
Now, let's just take a look at this. Simon Blackley and Martin Bell had a little side-by-side. Martin got very sideways, I think he got it together. And that barrier on the right is not far off there. We've often seen cars hitting that one. Oh, this was Adam Jones running across the grass in his battle with Tom Onslow Cole. That gives you an idea how much it rained last night.
Yeah, he just pushed. I think that's just either he might have broken a radiator there, or that was moisture picked up from going across the grass. But yeah, that was Onslow Cole forcing his way through.
We're on lap 14 out of 15, so just on. Oh, Allison's off.
That
He's
looks
crashed.
like Druids.
Yeah. It looks like he's off. Has there been contact with another car? Oh, the man who didn't finish any of the races at Croft through no fault of his own, and he's out again, Tim.
Yeah, he doesn't have any luck, does Matt. He's been involved in several accidents. He hit the tyres. Here we are. Well, we're seeing the end of it. There's no other car involved, but any accident, oh, that's a big accident, and that's the last thing the Motorbase team need. But it may well have been fluid down there from the Adam Jones car. They're coming down to the point now where he went off, and let's just follow the cars through if we can and see what happens.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because this is where we did see Adam Jones with a lot of fluid around. These guys come through there safely. 2nd place still, the Vauxhall of Fabrizio Giovinardi, chasing Gordon Shedden, remember. Then it's Turkington in the BMW, Matt Neal. This is the area now where Allison's gone off. Let's see if we can see any evidence of fluid down. Difficult to see quite from that angle. Don't see any stripy flags either, but they all get past the smoking remains of Allison's car.
Yeah, I mean, they will have gone through there fairly cautiously, but as you said, I couldn't see any flags, so we'll have to get a report back from the Motorbase team exactly what happened to Matt, but very unfortunate.
So Shedden going on to his final lap as he comes across the line. He's followed by Giovinardi, Turkington and Neal, and it says Flash on the pit board, because Flash Gordon is how they term him, and he's looking like he's going to take victory at the same circuit where he took his first ever win in British touring cars here 12 months ago. He's driven a beautiful race, and he's just got to hold on now for another 2.25 miles. There he is, Gordon Shedden, the 27-year-old from Dunfermline in Scotland, and he's been a very strong teammate to Matt Neal over these last 2 years. And he's so happy about the improvements they've made to this car. I was talking to him briefly yesterday, Tim. They've made a lot of progress, although they're not allowed to go testing. They've done a lot of work in the workshop on the rig testing, all that kind of stuff, and they really feel as though they've gained a lot of time.
Yes, it's called virtual testing, isn't it? It's where you look at the car, you look at the data, you put it on the four-poster rig, you conduct damper tests and all the rest of it, and it's certainly paying off.
It is paying off for Team Halfords, because the car is right on the pace here at Oulton Park. It's setting the pace, in fact, and Gordon Shedden now just has the half lap to complete to take his first win of 2007. It will be Team Halford's 2nd win of the year. Matt Neal, remember, came through to a surprise victory in race 3 at Brands Hatch in the opening meeting. That really was a surprise, because the car was late in being delivered and late in getting onto the circuit, but now the team has really got their act together. It's been a wonderful team effort by Team Halfords to get the car at this level already at this halfway stage of the season, and it is going to be Gordon Shedden, who won here last year. He's going to come through and win again for Team Halfords. Shedden wins. Giovanardi takes a crucial second place to take the lead in the championship. Turkington finishes third, Matt Neal fourth. Then it's Matt Jackson in fifth place, Tom Chilton sixth, Jason Plato just across the line there in seventh. Waiting to see Mike Jordan through. Yeah, Mike Jordan through in eighth. Tom Onslow Cole just behind him in ninth. He came up well, Tom Onslow Cole, from 18th place on the grid, and Gareth Howell 10th in the points, despite starting from the pit lane. So that was one of the drives of the race. Gareth Howell finishes 10th.
Yeah, great result for him, and disappointment for the other car, but Shedden, a great race, controlled it from the front. He'll be delighted, obviously, but now he's going to have to suffer the difficulties of running with maximum weight, as Plato did in that race, and it'll all turn around for race 2, I'm sure.
Yeah, but he did the job exactly as required of him there, and he had to fight for it. He had to get it past Turkington, and he found the slightest of gaps, and I thought for a moment it might end in tears for the two cars, but in fact they made it through, and Shedden went on to take victory. Beautifully driven race then by Gordon Shedden, and Team Halfords take the first win of the day here at Oulton Park. So Gordon Shedden wins round number 13 by 1.07 seconds from Fabrizio Giovanardi. Turkington takes third, and then Matt Neal fourth. Matt Jackson takes fifth place ahead of the second Vauxhall of Tom Chilton. Jason Plato was series leader, but he ain't now because he finished down in seventh. Mike Jordan was eighth, Tom Onslow Cole was ninth, and Gareth Howell was 10th, having started from pit lane. Great to hear the support from the crowd. Really is, as ever here, a fantastic crowd at Oulton Park, Tim. We had the pit lane walkabout earlier on today because of the church break. They don't start racing until midday. Fantastic to see it so full.
Well, I came in at 8:30 and they were already queuing up then, so a really enthusiastic crowd. I think the people here in the northwest love their racing. They're only here once, but look, they're going to get wet now, and this is going to change the complexion for race 2. I think Sayat were hoping for a bit of rain, but and certainly, in fact, for Shedden it will help, because it's easier to carry the weight in the rain. It has less effect in the rain than it does actually in the dry, but we've had this predicted by the weathermen, more rain than dry for the rest of the day.
Well, there are 2 more races to go. There's a little gap between each, but the programme is pretty tight here at Oulton Park, so they don't get a lot of turnaround time, and thankfully there's not too much damage. As we mentioned, Matt Allison's car is badly bent, unfortunately. I think the damage to the likes of Dave Pinkney's car wasn't too bad. Turner's car didn't look too bad, so hopefully the teams are going to get most of these back out again. Yeah,
I'm sure the only question mark will be over the Matt Jackson car. There it is. I mean, that's been into the tyre wall fairly hard again. That car was actually reshelled after the Thruxton accident, so it's had another bash, even though it's had a hard life up at Croft when it ran over the tyres. But any accident at Druids is going to be 80-90 mile an hour.
Yeah, it's a fast corner there, so that's certainly a tough one for Motorbase Performance Team. And everyone's getting down. Let's get down to the pits with Warren Pole. Gordon Shedden has just taken victory in round 13 of the championship. Lovely drive there from the Scot for Team Halfords and the Honda Civic. Excellent effort from him. But in terms of the championship, it's been a significant race as well. Fabrizio Giovanardi finished in second place, and that means he now takes the lead in the standings. Look at the rain coming down, though. This is going to make a big difference for later on. Giovanardi now on 137 points. He's 6 points ahead of Jason Plato, who loses the lead in the championship. Matt Neal in third place, still some way behind. He could do with them having some problems. Tom Chilton in fourth, Colin Turkington in fifth place. He wanted to hold on to the lead from pole position, but it wasn't quite to be, and Darren Turner was one who failed to finish. So let's now hear from those guys who did score well, and let's get down to the pits with Warren.
Thanks very much, Ben. Fabrizio, you are now leading the championship.
I really don't care. I don't want to think about to lead the championship because it's not finished. We are just in the middle. It's good that my car is unbelievable fast also with the bars, so I'm really confident. No accident, no damage. I think in the end I will be champion.
And now we have the beautiful British weather coming down on us. You ready for it?
I love it. Never mind. You will see me.
Thank you, Fabrizio. He's in good spirits, even though it's tipping it down. Colin, he was our pole sitter. Didn't quite convert it to the win, but fastest lap and third place.
Yeah, that's good. It's all points. You know, I have a really strong car in that race. You know, it shows the pace we had from pole yesterday, and unfortunately I got sort of tapped wide and lost a few positions. But you know, the RAC car is going fantastically well, and now with this wet, we're going to have to change it. But I think we'll be okay.
Well done. We'll see you later. And it's another day for celebration. Team Halford's first win for the season.
Yeah, it's great. You know, my first win to add on to Matt's win at Brands Hatch. It's great for everybody at Team Halford. You know, brand new car, and yeah, to get to the top step of the podium is fantastic. Really.
You look absolutely peaking. We've seen you down in the dumps and taking it well this season. You leapt about 6 foot in the air when you got out that car.
Oh yeah, just a lot of excitement, frustration, and anticipation building up, and great to produce a win.
Ready to get some ballast in for the next race?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, really happy with the car, and change of conditions now, so we'll see what that brings. But yeah, happy.
Thanks very much. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Thank you.
Right then, back up to the boys in commentary.
Hello and welcome back to Oulton Park. We've had lots of fun and games going on here already today. We've had one touring car race. It was won by Gordon Shedden, and the cars are going around at the moment to do 2 laps of acclimatisation because the conditions have changed somewhat since the earlier race today. Tim, we've had a fair bit of rain. In fact, it's just started dripping with rain once again, so it looks like we're in for a full wet race.
Yeah, just after the end of the last race, the heavens opened, and it's been wet ever since. So the touring car's lucky to have had one race in the dry, but this is certainly going to shake things up. But it's in the rules that they must have 2 laps of practice in the conditions that they're going to race in. So they're doing that now with they also have to run with their lights on, but they'll all get a feel for it. And some drivers will be very pleased about this, and others maybe not so.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, some of the new cars this year have barely been run in the wet. I know that Vauxhall, for example, have never run the Vectra with wet tyres on it. They've never done any wet testing.
And the Honda the same. And I said, have you got a wet setup? And they just sort of looked and sort of in the sky and said, well, we'll just sort of soften the dampers off, soften the roll bars, put the wet tyres on and send it.
Well, that's the way it has to be, isn't it? Of course, some of the teams that have run cars that have been running in touring cars the last few years have got some experience. I think the last wet race we had was Knock Hill Race 1 last year. That was a fully wet race, and then it sort of dried up as we went through the rest of the day. So the Seats should, in theory, be in good shape. But actually, I spoke to Jason Plato, and they had an issue with the exhaust system on the car, and he wasn't at all sure that they were going to have time to fit the softer springs that they like to run in the wet. And I saw him only about sort of 15 minutes ago, and it was a bit marginal at that stage.
Yeah, the Seat's actually a very good car in the wet. It has very good traction. The aerodynamic issue is not quite so great. It's all about generating mechanical grip from the chassis. They all, of course, have the same Dunlop tyres, so no issues there. There are no intermediate tyres either. They only have a wet tyre and a dry tyre, so that's not a factor. So we know they'll all be on the same tyres, but how much work they can do on the setup, the teams like to try and stand the tyres up a little bit, take a bit of camber off to get a bigger footprint on the road as well. But it's basically about softening the car up to give the driver a bit more feel, and that's on shock absorbers and roll bars.
Yes, and I just heard, in fact, that they did just have time to change Jason Plato onto the softer spring, so he'll be happy about that. He's now had a chance to see what the track conditions are like out there. They've all done their 2 acclimatisation laps, and they'll be coming around onto the grid. I gather that Richard Marsh will not be starting this race, so that's a shame, but Motorbase Performance have once again done a pretty startling job to get Matt Allison's car repaired. They've had a lot of practice just recently, but Matt Allison will be starting the race.
Yeah, definitely a good job by them. Poor old Matt's had his fair share of accidents, and that was caused, the accident we saw, was caused by the fluid coming out of the radiator from Adam Jones's car that had come out at down at Knickerbrook as he'd gone across there, and unfortunately Matt was the first car to hit it at Druid to the fast corner, but they've repaired the car and he's on the grid. Okay, well the cars are just getting onto the grid. We'll be right back after the break here on Setanta Sports for the second touring car race of the day. Which is interesting, so we'll watch him with interest. It isn't currently raining, and we've seen so far this weekend that when it has rained, the track has dried very quickly, so it does bring up the possibility, and we've heard Mike Jordan talking about it, that if, for example, there's a safety car period halfway through the race and the track is drying quite quickly, he might well come into the pits, and bearing in mind he has a BTCC spec car, he can change tyres very quickly, centre lock nuts on that, so he might put on some slicks on the front, so we'll see what happens. So, well, you're talking about Mike Jordan there. Let's see if we can have a word with him. He's got the radio this weekend. This is Ben in the commentary box to Mike. Mike, can you tell us briefly, what are the conditions like out there? How wet is it for you?
It's pretty marginal, and if it didn't rain anymore, it would definitely want slicks on the front and wets on the rear. which we were umming and ahhing about doing that on the grid actually, and going from the pit lane. I wouldn't have wanted to start mid-pack on slicks, but in the end there was just a little bit too much rain coming down. I ducked out of it. I'm still not sure that might actually be the right call.
So we might see some interesting tactics from you if there's a safety car or something like that.
If there's a safety car and it hasn't rained anymore, I think I'll definitely be in for fronts.
Okay,
obviously it's one of the advantages we've got with the centre-lock wheels. We can do it a bit quicker than the Super 2000.
Great, thank you very much, Mike. We'll leave you to focus on the race, and we'll have a look at what's going on. Gordon Shedden, who's leading them round at the moment, of course, as you say, hardly any experience for Team Halford's driving in the wet conditions, on the wet tyres. The same situation for Vauxhall, so they'll be learning their cars. They're both on the front row, so we've got two new cars for 2007 on the front row of the grid here, and then same situation on the second row, except, of course, you know, BMW, the car's been raced a lot over the World Touring cars. There's a bank of knowledge to call on, so it's maybe a little easier for them.
It is. I'm not necessarily sure that West Surrey have got access to BMW Motorsport for their setups. They seem to have been having to plough their own furrow all the way through without any real help from BMW, but Dick Bennett is a master at setting cars up, and I'm sure he'll have got the job done. But one thing to watch out for here, at the back of the grid, Matt Allison, whose car has been repaired but would be starting at the back. We've heard reports he might pull into the pit lane and start from the pit lane and hopefully avoid any first corner carnage.
Right, that'll be interesting. And I wonder if he does that, whether they would bother to change tyres. Probably not, because it is still just a little bit of rain in the air. It doesn't look as though it's going to dry out, but we'll have to wait and see. One of the other issues to watch out for, shouldn't be so bad as sometimes, but misting of the windscreen can be a problem in these conditions.
It can. The cars actually have electric heated windscreens, so theoretically, as long as that's working, it should be fine. And it is a requirement. There goes Matt Allison peeling off into the pit lane, but it is a requirement that the screens are clear. And of course, if the heated element stops working, that's it. They're in trouble. Right, Matt Allison pulls in the pit lane. He'll wait for the to go after the others have gone.
Yeah. So windscreen wipers on some of the cars, not on the two front row cars, interestingly, of Gordon Shedden and Fabrizio Giovanardi. It's the Scot who's looking for 2 wins out of 2 here today. Matt Allison has made his way into the pit lane, and he will be starting from the end of the pit lane after everybody has gone past the pit exit. Green flag from the back of the grid, red lights come on, and it's the second race of the day at Oulton Park underway. And who's going to get off the line? The BMW quick again, but Giovanardi trying to fend him off, he can't. And Matt Jackson in the white BMW as well. He's going to move up into second place here. He might even take the lead. Oh, he got Spinner off, that's Pickney. Oh, and Jason Hughes climbs the tyres, and oh dear, the camera gets hit as well. Turkington takes the lead of the race. Second place for Fabrizio Giovanardi. Third position for Matt Jackson. And then we've got the first of the team Halford's cars. Off goes Onslow Cole in the Team RAC car, the second of the BMWs. It's happening everywhere, Tim.
It is. I think that call by Matt Allison to start from the pit lane was undoubtedly the right one. I'm sure there'll be a safety car out at the end of this lap, but the BMWs made a lightning getaway, didn't they?
Very fast, although Matt Jackson then lost it. He seemed to go wheel to wheel with Turkington through the first corner, but he's now under pressure for third place, because right behind him there is the car of Matt Neal. Matt Neal trying to get down the inside. Look at the battle for third. Here he is, and Matt Neal's taken third place. That was a good move. He's got past Matt Jackson. So Matt Neal, the reigning champion, is up into third place.
Yeah, that was an aggressive pass on the brakes. Matt just getting the car stopped in the Knickerbrook chicane. Gareth Howell in the blue and black motor-based car coming up behind. He's made a good start and avoided all the accidents.
Yeah, he has done well. Remember, he started in 10th place on the grid after coming from the back in race 1. So Gareth Howell just coming into shot. Blue and orange and black there. He's well up the order, as you say, but it's Colin Turkington who leads at the moment, starting from the second row of the grid. We are going to see the safety car coming out, so they will race to the line. Look at Jordan there. Mike Jordan, the man carrying the radio. He's getting past Jason Plato. He's down the inside, and he's made the move stick into Lodge just before they'll see the safety car on circuit.
Yeah, although Plato will know the safety car is out, so he can't retaliate now. But now they all slow down, and this may take a little while to clear. There's a scene of total destruction. Look at the back of Pinkney's car. That's completely staved in. Jason Hughes' car, and I think it's Simon Blankley's car further up, and there's Erkut's car as well. That was the car that tried to take out our cameraman.
Yeah, our cameraman is okay, I'm glad to say. We were a bit concerned for a moment there when suddenly lost pictures, but as you can see, he's still there. He's giving us excellent pictures, and we're just heard that Chilton's gone into the pit. So Tom Chilton obviously got into trouble. He's just outside our window.
Yeah, he's putting wets on though. I can see that he's putting wets on though, so they're looking for damage or a problem. Let's have a look at the start again. That's not a change of tyres though for Chilton. Let's have a look at the start again. Now, initially you see that the RAC car, that's Turkington in the middle, he gets a great drive, little bit of wheel spin, goes straight past Shedden. Jackson goes round the outside. I thought he'd gone the wrong way, but he gets past Giovanardi, and he's looking at that. Now look at the back. Jason Hughes has already gone. He collects Pickney. Pickney goes to the wall. Urquhart's coming for our cameraman. Our cameraman's not a lover of Turkish delight, certainly not now, but a disastrous start there.
Now this was from Jason Plato's vantage point, I think. He was right behind Tom Chilton. Let's see what happens here. He just touches the back of Chilton. That shouldn't have been too much problem. It was all happening just behind them, really, wasn't it? That was through the first corner, so the first group were okay.
Yeah, the first group was okay. The only loser was Onslow Cole, who went off.
So this is another on-board view. This was with Mike Jordan, so he didn't make a particularly good getaway. He was passed by Onslow Cole.
Yeah, we may see what happens to Onslow Cole here, though, because he goes off on the run down through Denton's into Cascades. Mike Jordan holds it on the track, doesn't run out wide. Let's see what happens in front here with Onslow Cole to the right-hand side. Jordan goes to the left. No sign of... Oh, Onslow Cole goes down the outside and just runs out of grip. It's very slippery on the outside. He just couldn't get the car turned in.
Yeah, this is the view of that. Look on the...
Onslow Cole on the outside,
yeah,
trying to make up grip, just can't get the car turned in.
Thankfully, there's a bit more runoff there, so he was through the gravel across the grass.
Yeah, he's still got to turn around and get back on the road. He can't rejoin round there.
No, that's right. So here we are, we've got a bit more action. This is further on. This is down at the hairpin now. So this looks like from Jason's point of view, he taps the back of Shedden. That's interesting. Now Shedden and Chilton got together.
Yeah. Now that's where Chilton may have incurred the damage to his car that necessitated the pit stop to have a look. But this is going to be a long stop, because not only is there are 4 cars there to recover, there's also a lot of damage. Oh, Shedden's off.
Yeah, he was already off.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. But he's obviously off as a result of that contact. The Super 2000 cars are a little bit weaker, aren't they, at the on the suspension, and he's pulled off. There's a lot of gloomy drivers walking out the pit lane. There's Urquhart. Well, don't know. We didn't see quite how he got involved in that. All 4 cars going off together. Both of the Alphas now out, because Richard Marsh didn't start the race and Pinkney's out. That's Urquhart's car.
Yeah, no, it's there's a lot of damage to some of those cars. Front end of that car damaged. We said it was a bit quiet in the first race, Tim. They certainly made up for it at the start of the second one.
Yeah, but wasn't that a good decision by the Motorbase people to start Matt Allison at the out of the pit lane, because he's actually lying 12th.
That's
now.
amazing.
You know, having started from the pit lane,
He's
a really
12th.
sensible choice.
He's only 2 places outside the points. That is remarkable.
Well,
but Simon Blankley, you mentioned Simon. He was one of those involved, but sort of earlier on, wasn't he? His car is actually stopped on the pretty much still on the way into Old Hall.
Yeah.
He's explaining it to Graham Hathaway and the crew. There's Jason Hughes. That's such a shame. The local lad, of course, Jason Hughes, runs his Cartwell concern. It's only about 40 miles away from this Oulton Park track. He was hopeful of a good result on effectively home turf, and it's all gone wrong for him as well. There is the lead group behind the safety car. It's Colin Turkington for Team RAC, then it's the Vauxhall of Fabrizio Giovanardi, then Team Halford's lead car, well, the only car for Team Halford's in the race now, of course, that is Matt Neal, Matt Jackson and Mike Jordan in 5th, Plato in 6th place ahead of Hal Stockton. Chris Stockton is as one of the ones who's survived, and actually Chris has done really well, another local lad. He's up to 8th place. And there you can see a lot of analysis going on.
A lot of expensive damage there. Those Alphas don't come cheap, believe me, and it's a good job David's got a nice big fat wad in his pocket. Well, Shedden, a very short second race. A lot of glory in the first race, short-lived in the second.
Well, we don't quite know what happened. We saw the contact between himself and Chilton, and it does look as though it was around that area where that happened that he's ended up in the tyres, and then Chilton came into the pits and he'd had a shredded tyre, I think was his problem, so that's why they changed all 4 wheels. He's gone back out once again, but of course he's at the back of the field. He's in 18th position. They're trying to get that car of Shedden's moved out of the way, but look at that whole right front suspension corner is off. Let's get down to the pit lane and get some reaction.
Now then, Dave, you were in the middle of that enormous shunt that we've just had. Tell us a bit more about it.
Well, I got a blinding start from the back of the grid, and a lot of the lads were just spinning wheels everywhere. And I must have passed about 10 cars who were coming up to the start-finish straight. And I went past Simon Blanchley, probably 20 mile an hour faster than he was going. And he obviously, although he'd had a bad start, he obviously wasn't watching his mirrors. And he just had no idea I was there. And as I went past him, as I say, 20 mile an hour faster, he just turned left into me. And that caused a whole lot.
And it's a right old mess. We can see it down there from here, but the trouble here is when the grass is that way, you accelerate when you hit the grass, don't you?
It was a big shunt, yeah. I mean, you felt it as you went into the barriers, and, you know, luckily we all got out unhurt. But, you know, people should, if they got a bad start, you should check your mirrors, because people are coming up behind you, and, you know, just turning left for no reason is ridiculous.
And what about the car? Anything left? You're going to be out for race 3?
No way, no, it's had it again. No luck. We just got the thing on the pace a bit, and okay, you know, in the first race we got tapped off. That was unfortunate, but there's no way it's going to be out for the next race now.
Sorry to hear it, Dave. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, from a miserable pit lane down here, back up to Ben and Tim.
Thanks very much, Warren. Yeah, that's the damage on the front of that Alfa. It's actually ripped the tyre from the rim there. I mean, that is a very forceful impact. And you think that was from a standing start in wet conditions, but it still gives you an idea of the amount of energy involved in the accident.
Yeah, there's a lot of force involved. I mean, you know, it looked from what we saw like it was just bunching on the grid, really. It's a very narrow grid. And sure, Pinckney had a better start and was trying to go down the outside, but it looked like just a crunching up of cars on the grid. But the repercussions were horrendous, obviously.
That's right. Well, one man who got through all that reasonably safely and managed to get past Jason Plato just before they picked up the safety car was this man, Mike Jordan. Now he's running in 5th position. We got the radio with him. Let's see if we can grab a quick word. This is Ben in the commentary box to Mike. Mike, well done. You survived what was a fairly dramatic opening lap, and you managed to get Jason just before the safety car come out.
Yeah, Druids is incredibly slippery. I don't know if the previous races put a little bit of oil down there, but I've been watching it on TV, and like the Formula BMWs are really struggling there more than anywhere else. And radioed and said safety car was out, and as Jason went in, he just lost the back enough to get my nose under him, and Antelodge just gave me enough room to pick.
Great, thanks, Mike. We're just losing you just a little bit up the hill, but that's good to hear, and we'll leave you to concentrate on the remainder of this race now. So it is Colin Turkington that leads. It looks like it could be a little while here, Tim, because I mean there's...
Yeah, I mean I don't think they've got enough wreckers to move these cars, because we've got one flatbed lorry trying to get Shedden's car on, which I don't think has a wheel on it. We've got 2 other flatbed lorries down here, and there are 4 cars in total to move, so not easy.
Not easy. 4 laps have been completed. Majority of that under safety car. At this rate, they'll be doing most of the race under safety car. Remember, we add up to 3 laps in distance, but they may want to actually then cut a few laps off as well, because it's going to be a long race otherwise. The rest of the field, they're being very well behaved, as they need to be, coming past the area. We're just our commentary box on the approach to the first corner at Old Hall, not this area where they're now dealing with Gordon Shedden's car, as you can see. But look at the amount of tyre wall damage. I mean, that all has to be replaced before they can get the cars up and running and racing again, obviously. And they've still got to recover those cars. Pinckney's car, now that has been picked up and is being towed. At least the back suspension of the car has allowed them to tow it.
Yeah, the worrying thing is if you look at the wooden posts behind the barriers, they've all been pushed back quite heavily, and normally they have to be reseated with a JCB. So I don't know whether we'll go for a quick fix or not, but they're certainly looking a bit precarious, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. Of course, we've had a lot of rain here. This northwest part of the country's been hit by a huge amount of rain the last couple of weeks, and it rained again very hard last night. Let's get back down to the pits with Warren.
Well, Gordon, first race was a blinder. Your smile was out here. It's gone a bit now. 1 lap down, and you're back in the pits.
Yeah, it's not good. You know, it's I've been rammed from behind by Plato going into the hairpin, and that's knocked me into the side of Chilton and burst the front left tyre clean off the rim, and then a bit of pinball on the exit of the chicane, at the exit of the hairpin has broken the front right suspension, so out the race, no points, and not happy. It's not a good day at the office so far. Very bad day at the office. Do you think it'll be ready for the next race? It's very tight time here, isn't it? Yeah, you know, every confidence the guys will get it back out in the 3rd race, but it means I've got to start from the very back of the grid and come through when, you know, I've had a car yet again which is capable of being on the podium in that race and not been able to score the points that the car deserved, so disappointed. Do you think people are getting a little bit giddy because it was just carnage off the start there? Yeah, but you know, you can't win the race in the first corner of the first lap of a race. It's wet. We all know it's wet. We're all on wet tyres. You know, the championship's supposed to be full of professional drivers racing at the top line of British motorsport, and it appears that people's errors in judgment are quite severe at the moment. We'll not ask for any names, but thanks for talking to us, Gordon.
Thank you, Warren.
And back over to you, Ben and Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Warren. Thanks very much. We're just seeing David Pinkney's car being sort of towed past us, so they've got that car out of the way. As you can see, Gordon Shedden's car is being recovered. How did you read that incident, Tim?
Well, I mean, just listening to the sound from on board Jason's car, at the very beginning of the braking, it sounded like he locked up, and although he managed to declutch and get it going again, I think that just made him run into the corner a little bit too quick. So, although Gordon's every right to feel aggrieved, I'm not sure it was necessarily a deliberate punt, but you can imagine braking in the wet into that hairpin. It's very, very difficult to get it right.
No ABS, of course, on British touring cars. I mean, it's part of the rules, isn't it? You're not allowed to. So if you do brake too hard, you're just going to lock the wheels up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, it is difficult. That part of the circuit is bumpy. You go over a crest there as you initially hit the brakes, which makes the front wheels go light. And in the wet, it's very easy to do it. Of course, the other thing is the drivers have to set their brake balance. In fact, we saw a couple of years ago Jason do exactly that wrong and lock up his fronts and go straight on. But you know, you do need to set the brake balance, and it's a little bit of a guesswork to get it right.
Well, they've got Pinkney's car back, but I mean, you know, look at the amount of damage on it. It really, as David said to us in the interview, I really can't see it very likely
that will not be going
out
anywhere else today.
No, huge amount of
It's
damage.
leaking all its bodily fluids.
Yeah, chassis damage. That's all going to have to be pulled out, put on a jig. If they're lucky, of course. If they're unlucky, then it will take a new body shell. And as you were saying earlier, that ain't going to be cheap. Erkut's car being pushed away as well. Tech Speed looking after that car. And Paul O'Neill helping Erkut this weekend. Of course, Paul O'Neill, a former winner here at Oulton Park himself back in 2002, and looks as though Warren's going to hopefully be able to catch a word with him in a second. Still,
yeah, that's Ian Watson on the left with the radio, just inspecting the damage. Obviously, he's got to be satisfied that it's safe to go back to racing, but there was a lot of tyres moved there and a lot of barrier damage. Yeah. We're just seeing now coming into the pit lane Jason Hughes' car. That's got very extensive rear end damage as well, and the team would, well, they'd be doing miracles to get that fixed.
Is Fiona still running? I think she is. Yeah, the other Kart World car, she's running 16th at the moment. So at least one of the cars is still out there, but they're not having a great deal of luck this weekend. And there is Jason's car, as we mentioned, just being brought back. There's Jason. You can just see him behind the car there with his overalls half down, and he's going to have a quick look to see what the damage is like. But it's not in luck this time, I'm afraid, Jason. Real shame. The two only MGs still in the British Touring Car Championship. They are bioethanol powered. Of course, MG's had a lot of success over the years with this car and in this championship, but poor Jason's day hasn't certainly gone too well today.
Yeah, it's a great shame, isn't it? The sort of Oulton Park start line curse has struck again, but I think it's a combination of the narrowness of the track, the proximity of the lanes on the grid, and also the conditions. But I think we've got Erkut down in the pit lane, so let's go back down and hear from him.
We certainly do. Erkut, you were involved in that enormous pile-up at Turn 1 as well. The shutters are down on your garage. How was it?
I mean, it's very hard to say for me now what happened over there. We were just side by side, and we were just coming to the first corner, and then suddenly everything went crazy, and you know, and suddenly somebody hits me. I don't know really who hit me, and lost the control and touched the grass. Especially on this condition, when you touch the grass, you are just a passenger. Whatever you try to do, I mean, there's no way to escape. So I just passed straight to first corner and hit the barriers over there. I don't know, we tried to catch the third race, but I don't know. They are working hard now. That's why they are closing the shelter down.
Well, as we said, the only positive out of it is that it was quite near, so you didn't have too far to walk back.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, in Rockingham, that's why I watched the whole race and couldn't move. But this one, yeah, it's quite pretty close, and we already checked the doctors and everything. So now we are waiting and watching the second race and waiting the third one.
Well, let's hope we see you out there. Erkut, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Warren. Yeah, fairly sanguine Erkut, isn't he? He's not getting too wound up about it. It's just one of those things, I suppose. But let's hope that they can get that car repaired and see him back out later on. So safety car still obviously leading the rest of the field around. It's Turkington, Giovanardi and Matt Neal that are following behind the safety car.
Yeah, they've actually elected to leave Simon Blankney's car parked where it stopped up against the barriers. That's on the run down to the first corner, and I would have thought that's in a fairly precarious position, to be honest. If I was either Simon or one of the other drivers, I wouldn't be particularly happy about that. But the lights are out on the safety car. We're going back to racing whatever. And, well, the safety car's been going down very slowly. And what little heat the dark guys have been able to maintain in their tyres, if at all, is going to be lost.
Right, so here we go then, getting all set for the restart. They've completed 6 laps. They'll complete 7 laps as they come across the line this time. And as you say, they're taking it fairly steady. The safety car going fairly slowly before heading into the pit lane, and it's going to be Colin Turkington and Fabrizio Giovanardi who will lead this restart away once again, with Matt Neal, the double champion, in there, Matt Jackson as well in his BMW, and Mike Jordan. Jason Plato starting from 6th place, and then remember it's Gareth Howe, Chris Stockton and Darren Turner. Away we go, safety car comes in, we're racing once again at Oulton Park, and Turkington makes an excellent restart there, pulls a couple of car lengths over Giovanardi, and it's Matt Neal who goes on the attack for 2nd place. Oh, Gareth gone off! Gareth Howe, no! Gareth! Oh, into the tyre barrier. What a shame. He'd been driving so well up to that point.
Well, that's yet more disaster for the Motorbase team. He'd been having a brilliant race, and they've now got yet another smashed body shell.
You could see that accident. It would happen for so long, wouldn't it? You know, it was coming, he just went in too fast, and once you're on the grass, as we heard from Erkut, you are simply a passenger, nothing he could do there.
And that's the worst feeling for the driver, because the car almost seems to speed up. It doesn't slow down at all. He's on the brakes, he knows what's going to happen, he can see the accident coming, there's nothing he can do about it. He's just got to sit there, put his head back against the rest and wait for the impact.
Now, safety car is back out on track, but they are racing until they get back to the line, remember, so they're still pushing hard here. And Matt Jackson there, under pressure from Jordan. Jordan almost being put on the grass, squeezed through. He's got Plato right behind him, and he nearly opened the door for Plato to come through. So that was a very close moment. They're still racing. It is a safety car period, but they will race all the way to the line, as we saw when the safety car came out earlier. Turkington, Giovanardi and Matt Neal, your top 3. Then Jackson and Jordan with Plato following. Pretty close, but you know, they are going to race to the line, aren't they?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, just look in the background of your screen though, all the Chris Stockton fans, the Lexus fans, he's got in front of Turner, and there he is, the black car defending to the inside.
Jordan went through then as well. Jordan took 4th from Matt Jackson as they came through Lodge Corner. So as they come across the line and pick up the safety car boards, it will be a change of place. It's Turkington who leads, Giovanardi 2nd, Matt Neal 3rd, Jordan has taken 4th there from Jackson, Plato, and then, as you say, Chris Stockton, the local man, going extremely well. You know, he's a former champion of Oulton Park in Formula Ford, so he knows this track pretty well, and he probably knows these conditions pretty well.
Yeah, well, he lives just down the road in Malpass. He's married to Great Britain 3-day event of Polly Stockton, so he's certainly got something to live up to. A pretty sporty family.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, he's just come back from Germany from watching one of her events. There is Gareth's car, I'm afraid, Gareth Howell's car, and poor Motorbase, and my goodness, how much repair work have they got to do? Talk us through it.
Here we go on the restart. Don't look at the front, look to the back of your picture. The blue car coming down the outside is carrying too much speed, he can't stop it. Away on the grass, and then all he can do is just hope the car turns a little bit. It does at least turn, and he goes in sideways rather than forwards, but there's still going to be a lot of damage.
Now this is a replay of Jordan getting past Jackson. Look, the John Guest car just tucked into the inside as they headed down under braking into Lodge. Jackson didn't really fight it, and it was a fairly straightforward manoeuvre. This is from the onboard view, actually looking back from Jordan's car. So he's gone through here, and there's Jackson's car, he's just passed it. So that was a very neat and tidy manoeuvre down the inside, and that car's working very well in these conditions, isn't it? That's the Honda Integra, remember, the car that has won the British Touring Car Championship for the last 2 years, and Mike Jordan now runs it as a very much an independent, a privateer, and he's up into 4th. He's had a couple of podium finishes already this year, and he's in a position to perhaps challenge for a podium again here. Just coming through a shot ahead of Jackson, Plato. From Plato's point of view, Tim, he's still finding himself, 4 places behind his big championship rival Giovanardi, so it's still not coming to him here at Oulton Park.
It's not, and the laps are ticking down, aren't they, in this race again? I mean, I'm not sure how long this stop will be. Hopefully Howell's car will be a straight pull away, and there's no wheels hanging off the thing, so hopefully they'll get it out of the way quickly, but the laps are running down, and Plato hasn't shown in even the sort of initial dry lap or the initial running under green flag conditions that he's got particularly any great pace in that Seat.
No, it didn't look as though he was suddenly trying to get through to the front. His teammate Darren Turner still running in 8th place, by the way. Just saw the diesel BMW coming through. Good to see that back this weekend. It's at the back of that queue there, the white and yellow car. That is Rick Kerry from Ipswich, the MD of the Accident Repair Centre there. I should think he probably could do with a contract on accident repairs from this meeting at Oulton Park, to be honest. Maybe he should go and talk to Motorbase about doing some work for them, because they've been a bit busy.
Well, Motorbase do run a body shop, but I think they're flat out fixing their race cars, and they need to be working to earn some money to pay for them. But I mean, there is a chance. I mean, because the car went in sideways, there's a chance that the suspension pickup points may not be too badly damaged. And although it looks horrendous cosmetically, we've seen already from the accident at Thruxton that they had with Matt Allison's car, that team can do wonders in repairing cars, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that car out in some shape or fashion in the last race.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. We'll see if we can get another word with Mike Jordan, who's now running in 4th position. I mean, now, let's just remind you, he got past Plato just before the first safety car period, and now this second safety car period, he managed to just nip past Matt Jackson as they went into Lodge Corner. So he's now the 4th car after the safety car, and he got through very well. Let's have a quick word with him once again. This is Ben in the commentary box to Mike. Mike, you did it again, just as the safety car came out. You managed to make the move on Matt Jackson.
Yeah, I tried. I think he was a little bit tentative on the brakes into Knickerbrook, and I tried to sort of get him there, but he defended it well. But I got a really good run through Druids again and just could do him on the brakes. So I just want to get on with this race. I think we can make our way to the front.
Just tell us, what are the conditions like now? Is it drying up at all?
It is, but it is still really greasy. I mean, the team have just come on the radio and said, what should Andy do in the Clio race that's coming up next? And I said at the minute, because you know what it's like, Ben, when it goes really slimy like that, but it won't be long before it will be ready for slick fronts.
Okay, well, we'll leave you to it. The lights are off on the safety car, so it looks as though we're going all racing once again. The race distance, by the way, is going to remain at 15 laps, so that gives them 6 laps or 5 laps after they cross the line this time. We're all set to go racing once more. Watch for Chris Stockton in the black car, the black Lexus there. He's got a good chance of scoring some points here today, and that would certainly support his local fans here at Oulton Park. Safety car back in, and for the second time in this second race of the day, the race is restarted by Colin Turkington leading from Fabrizio Giovanardi in second. A little closer this time on the run to Old Hall Corner, and Matt Neal trying to go around the outside of both of them as they go through this tricky right-hander, and Jordan there under pressure from Matt Jackson as well behind them. Down the hill they come then. It's very, very tight between these lead cars, but it's the Team RAC BMW of Turkington from Giovanardi in the Vauxhall Vectra. Then it's Matt Neal in the Team Halford's Honda, the new Civic, and he's chased by Mike Jordan in the older Honda Integra, which is running extremely well in these conditions.
Yeah, not so much standing water now. We're into the sort of very greasy start. Sometimes the track can be slower when it's like this than when it's full wet, but we saw in the background, was that Darren Turner coming?
No, I think it was Plato. Yeah, Plato got alongside Jackson, but I'm not sure he managed to complete the manoeuvre. No, he didn't. Look, as they come up over the rise, it's still Jackson in the BMW hounding Mike Jordan, but right behind him is Jason Plato. There's Turner. You mentioned Turner. Well, he's got past Stockton in the background. Yet he's got through there, so Darren Turner has taken 7th place from Chris Stockton. Adam Jones is trying to get through. Matt Allison behind there, he was having a bit of a squeeze as well with, who was that, Tom Chilton?
Yeah, not the person that he probably wants to be rucking with, I wouldn't have thought at the moment. Motorbase down to one car, they're probably telling him to let Chilton through. The last thing he needs is to get involved with him. But yeah, Darren Turner with that bashed up Seat. Remember, he went across the Knickerbrook chicane the first time of asking. He's now managed to get back past Stockton, and he can act as rear gunner for his teammate.
On board Jason Plato, he's tucked in behind Matt Jackson, but the leading quartet are just ahead. They're coming through Lodge Corner. Wonderful bend this, it pitches downhill, then back up through Dearly, and Plato with the windscreen wipers running, but as you can see, the spray are not as bad as sometimes in wet races. So conditions not too bad from a visibility point of view, but still very slippery. And look again at Mike Jordan, he's hounding Matt Neal, and he looks potentially quicker. You know, this is a tricky situation for him. He'd love to take that podium spot. Bit of bodywork being flicked up there as well as they came down towards Cascades.
Yeah, that's the Jordan car, the ex-Dynamics Integra, always was a very quick car in the wet. The new Civic car that's in front of him, of course, not really had any running in the wet at all, so gambled settings. And look at Matt Jackson round the outside. Will he stop the car?
Oh, he's lost the place. He's lost the play. Plato's through.
Yeah, very greasy on the outside. He's now look at Jordan on the inside. He's got an overlap. He's on the inside down to Knickerbrook. This should work.
Yeah, so Mike Jordan on the inside. He's now got to complete it by braking a little later, and he's through. If he can turn in, he can. He's up into third place. Matt Neal is now in fourth, and Jason Plato is in fifth place. So these two great rivals, Matt Neal and Jason Plato, there is no love lost between those two. Remember the last few years of confrontation between them, and they're now right together on track. Mike Jordan will be quite relieved, I think, to have got himself ahead of Jason Plato and perhaps then leave them to it.
Yeah, well, it just shows there's life in the old dog. This is the section. Look at the lines on the track as the cars cut through the greasy wetness as they come over that crest. Really slippery on this part of the track.
So up towards Lodge Corner. There is Mike Jordan still running in third. Let's just take a look at Jason Plato's view as Matt Jackson decided to go for the move down the outside, but really braked too late.
He just braked too late. It always looked like he was carrying too much speed. He just gets on the grass, and that loses him the places.
So Matt Jackson lost a couple of places. He's still there. He's in sixth position. Then that was how Mike Jordan was able to get alongside, and then once he was there, it was pretty much his corner.
Yeah, watch the brake lights come on exactly the same place, but Jordan has the inside and he slots through with no aggression from Matt Neal.
Now it's all getting pretty tight further back. That's the race leader. It is Colin Turkington, the man who started on pole for the first race. He's now leading the second race, but here is the battle for fourth place between Matt Neal and Jason Plato. Plato, he's going to go the deep line in. He's trying to look for a good exit out of the corner, and this is where he needs to get the run going. But he knows that the aerodynamics of the Seat don't always count in his favour in a straight line, but then again, it's much the same story for the Team Halfords Honda as well.
Yeah, it's all about mechanical grip. How much grip can they get through those good Dunlop wet tyres, both for braking and for acceleration, because an extra bit of grip coming out of the corner in these greasy conditions will certainly have a beneficial effect over and above the negative effects of the aerodynamics. So Plato not struggling with that at the moment.
So it's just about 2.5 laps still to go here. Mike Jordan in a solid third place at the moment. He currently leads the independent points, by the way, although he does have to battle with the Team RAC cars on that, and Turkington is leading this race and therefore leading in the independent category as well. But Jordan should maintain his points advantage. There's Matt Jackson, still running well. He might have had to lose a place to Plato after he ran wide at the hairpin, but he's not lost any more, which is the key thing. Behind him is Darren Turner in the second of the Seats, and then it's Adam Jones running in eighth. Matt Allison is in ninth, and Tom Onslow Cole, if you remember, he went off right in the early stages of this race down at Cascades. He's actually just taken ninth as he's come over the... Oh no, he just lost it again. Oh yes, he is. He's got past Allison, so Onslow Cole up to ninth place. Good progress from him.
Yeah, I tell you what, I bet Mike Jordan wishes this race would go on a bit longer, because he set the fastest lap of the race on that very last lap.
Now let's just see what's been going on here. This is Chris Stockton going down. Now Chris Stockton must have made a mistake somewhere, because he's gone all the way down to 13th, and he was well in the points earlier on, if you remember. So that's a disappointment. He got back past Martin Bell in that move.
Yeah, he's obviously recovering from something we saw off camera.
Race leader Colin Turkington, Fabrizio Giovanardi. You know, Giovanardi is attacking here. Remember, this is the first time the Vauxhall Vectra has ever been run on wet tyres, and yet it's pushing the BMW here of Colin Turkington pretty hard. The gap has opened up a bit to Mike Jordan in third. There you can see the BMW sliding. Is that a bit of evidence of tyres giving up?
Well, I don't think the tyres particularly would have gone off in this. I mean, although the track is drying, it's still very greasy in places, and they haven't run a lot of laps under full speed. So I think the tyres should all be fairly equal without a great deal of wear. It's just a case of Giovanardi getting a feel for his car and using his undoubted talent to drag more out of it.
Well, it's an impressive run from the Italian at the moment, but it's Colin Turkington who currently leads this race, and they'll be going on to their final lap when they come across the line. Past our camera position through Deer Leap. Look at him looking for the wet stuff there. Giovanardi very much looking for the wet side of the track to keep his tyres a little bit cooler. He may challenge on this final lap. Turkington goes on to the final lap leading. Remember, Turkington grabbed a win from Giovanardi last year at Donington Park, and I think Giovanardi might think this is time to take revenge for that one.
Yeah, who can forget the first time that he passed Giovanardi when Giovanardi was looking like winning his first and Vauxhall's 100th race, and he really got well and truly mugged by Turkington at the last chicane at Donington. So could it be a case of getting his own back?
Well, let's see. At the moment, they're coming into the hairpin. He's not close enough there, but look how close he is as they turn into the corner, and they're on the apex. Oh, it's tight between them now, and this is going to be a real tussle all the way to the checkered flag. Less than a lap to do here at Oulton Park in the second race of the day. Giovanardi's going to try and take the inside line, coming down to Knickerbrook. He has to move back to the outside. That puts Turkington on the more slippery side, but he turns in ahead, stays in front. Now there's another critical phase coming up the hill.
Got to get a good exit from this corner. Turkington makes sure he doesn't run out onto those curbs that will destroy his traction. The Vauxhall's very strong. It's all going to be about who gets through Druids cleanly and on the run up to Lodge, the final corner. This here, not an overtaking place, but the speed through it determines whether you can get a run into the last corner.
Turkington looks pretty good through there, but Giovanardi's fast as well behind him. Now there's the one corner to go. Turkington already moving to the middle of the road to protect his position. Giovanardi's got the drier outside line. He's going to try and drive around the outside. That's brave, but Turkington covers it. Oh, this is quality racing from two top touring car drivers. They're going to be almost side by side, but it's going to be Colin Turkington, who just, I think, yes, he takes it by 0.046 of a second. Mike Jordan takes third, Matt Neal is fourth, and Jason Plato is fifth.
0.04 of a second difference between them. That is fantastic. Great racing, really good result. Mike Jordan not even a second behind. Onslow Cole creeping over the line,
and he's lost several places as a result of that, Tim. He was up well inside the top 10. He's dropped to 13th. What a result for Colin Turkington, and for Team RAC. They didn't manage to have the win in the first race despite starting from pole, but the first wet race of 2007 goes to Turkington. Look how close it was.
You can't get any closer than that. That was fantastic. Right to the last corner, Giovanardi was trying. He tried to get an overlap coming out of Lodge and over Dearly, and very nearly did it. Certainly, he looked over after his tyres very well, and, well, good result for Turkington. His second win, he's absolutely made up.
That's brilliant, and yeah, that was well deserved, and he fought off one of the toughest competitors there. Now, Mike Jordan has finished in third place. Let's see if we can get a quick word with him. Ben to Mike. Well done, Mike. A brilliant race. You're on the podium again, mate. That's the third time this year.
No, that was really good. I mean, I made a couple of mistakes when I was just catching them with about 2 or 3 laps to go, and just locked up, and I was a bit worried, nearly put it off at Lodge, and I thought, let's just tap it back a couple of tenths. Didn't want to go and throw it off and look a bit of a blocker, but no, the car was great, really good.
Well, many congratulations. And there he is, Mike waving. He's got a big group of Pertec guests that he's just driven past up the hill there, so they'll be, I'm sure, giving him a tremendous reception. And that was a hard-fought third place. Matt Neal in fourth, and Matt managed to fend off Jason Plato there, Tim. I thought we might get a bit of a tussle there, but actually it sort of settled down, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. They were all doing about the same lap times, and without a mistake, it was probably hard to pass. But Mike Jordan, great third place and fastest lap.
Yeah, good point. There gets the extra point for that as well, doesn't he? So, yeah, a good fastest lap there. Matt Jackson, he'll be a little disappointed, but of course, remember, Matt still a rookie, so still got things to learn. Colin Turkington then wins the second race of the day here at Oulton Park from Giovanardi and Mike Jordan, who takes third. Matt Neal in fourth place, just ahead of Jason Plato. Matt Jackson dropped back a little bit, but still useful points in sixth, ahead of Darren Turner, Adam Jones. Tom Chilton was ninth, and Matt Allison finished 10th. And let's just see what it does to the points. Giovanardi came into this meeting 2 points behind Plato, but he's now got a 12-point advantage. Matt Neal still in third place, Turkington in fourth position ahead of Chilton, and Gordon Shedden, of course, really out of luck in that race. He stays down in seventh. He was one of the early retirements. So that's what it's done to the points. Let's get down and hear from the drivers. They're with Warren.
Well, here we are down with Colin Turkington. Colin, looks like the lovely Roxanne McKee was quite a lucky charm for you.
Yeah, you're right, and I hope she'll be coming to the rest of them as well. But yeah, it was a fantastic race. You know, this is the first time we've had the RAC BMW in the wet, and you know, we weren't quite sure how it was going to go, but you know, I just sort of tried to keep looking in front, not too much in the mirrors, and keep it steady. And you know, it was a very difficult race. You know, running about there behind the safety car, just trying to keep my concentration, but. You know, the lads at Team RAC done an absolutely fantastic job. You know, we had quite a bit of work to do to change the car between the races, so it's great to get another win. Absolutely fantastic.
Good to see you smiling. Now, just quickly, you mentioned looking in your mirrors. At the end, you have had a very big Vauxhall in your mirrors. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was. I was under a lot of pressure, you know, and Fabrizio was closing and closing, and I was wanting an easy end to that race, but yeah, I think it was 0.004 of a second I won by, so just enough, you know.
A win's a win. Well done. Now, the man who came in second place here, Fabrizio, there was me thinking that you were taking it easy, conserving your car, just take the safe points, and then at the end, you put your foot on the gas.
Yeah, in the end my car was faster than Colin, but I said don't make any stupid thing because it's not time to do it. We tried just in the last corner to overtake him. I was just close to pass him, but anyway, it's really okay because my car every time is good.
But at the end, Colin's car got very, very wide.
Yeah, it was, but anyway, he has done no mistake, so it's good if he won.
Good racing. Thanks very much, Fabrizio. And third place, we talked to him in the car, we talk to him now. First podium of the year, Mike.
No, I've had a couple more before this, so it's just first podium of the day. Let's start again.
First podium of the day, Mike. Brilliant effort.
It was great. No, I love driving the car when it's like that because it just got really greasy and slimy. It's just like a big slide every lap. It was great.
It looked like you had the legs, though, especially when you took Matt Neal.
Yeah, I mean, I could see off the restart, Matt got quite a lot of understeer in his car, and I just managed to get underneath him at the hairpin and thought if I could get past him quickly and set off after these two. And they were getting all feisty on the last lap, and I thought, oh, this could just drop in my lap, but not to be, but happy with third.
Mike, well done. Thank you.
It's Tarpley in Cheshire, and the weather conditions looking pretty good now. We've got a bit of overcast sky, but a bit of brightness as well. And after the earlier rain in the forecast, it's a lot better than we had expected. So the grid lines up, ready to go, and this is what it looks like. The top 8 were reversed from that second row. So Adam Jones is on pole position, then Darren Turner alongside. This could be good for Seat because they've got Turner in the front row and Plato on the second row, with Matt Neal and Mike Jordan right behind. Matt Jackson in the middle there with a fast-starting BMW, so watch out for him. So then we go back on the grid to 7th position, and behind them is Matt Neal. Behind Matt Neal, rather, on the grid is Fabrizio Giovanardi, so we'll watch for Giovanardi. He's already been showing good form here this weekend. He's got Colin Turkington, race 2 winner alongside, then Tom Chilton and Matt Allison, then John George and Chris Stockton. Stockton looking for more performance from the Lexus. Behind them we've got Tom Onslow Cole in another of the Team RAC BMWs, Martin Bell in his own privateer BMW, Fiona Leggett and Rick Kerry, then Jim Pocklington and Gordon Shedden, another race winner here today, but look, he's got a lot of work to do. He's starting down in 18th place on the grid. Behind them we then should have Simon Blankley, but he had a problem on the outlap coming out from the pit, so I'm not sure he's actually going to take his grid position, sadly. Alongside him, or where he should be, will be Aircut. They have repaired the car, as we saw, and the only ATEC car in the race is that of Richard Marsh. Sadly, the damage to David Pickney's car, far too great for them to get it back out. Gareth Howell in a similar position as well. He's not going to be taking part in this race, but nonetheless, Tim, a good race in prospect here, and I wonder how Adam Jones is going to cope with pole position.
Well, he's not been fazed by anything so far this year, and I'm sure he'll give it a good go for as long as it lasts. I mean, his car is quite quick. Obviously, he has no weight on him, but he has got, as you say, next to him Darren Turner in a Seat with no weight, and right behind him Matt Jackson and Jason Plato with very little weight. And Plato will be looking to get something a little bit better out of this race meeting so far. He hasn't had a lot to shout about, and Giovanardi has, so he'll be looking for a little bit more out of this race. But the track, as you can see, is now perfectly dry, so everybody on slicks, everybody on full dry settings.
Right, well that certainly makes it a bit easier for everyone to deal with. It is a Seat on pole position, by the way. That Adam Jones car, of course, is the former Seat Toledo that, well, it's the car that Plato used to race, similar car he used to race a couple of years ago. So I wonder if he's going to be a little helpful here with the other two Seats. The cars making their way round on this formation lap. It is now a dry circuit. They're all on slick racing tyres, and we're all set for another feisty battle to the flag here for 15 laps around this superb Oulton Park circuit. It's a real roller coaster of a track, and there's one of the classic parts of it as they come out of Lodge Corner and climb Deers Leap. Not perhaps quite the challenge it is on a powerful motorbike, but still a great piece of action for the spectators and for the drivers as well. All the cars that we've got left, Tim, on the grid, but we are missing a few key ones.
Yeah, sadly a few cars out after the second race shenanigans off the start line. Let's hope we don't get a repeat of that. As you say, the track is dry, but we have got the top 8 of the second race reverse, so anything can happen.
Adam Jones it is then on pole position. Watch the Seats, they are very well placed with Darren Turner on the front row, Jason Plato on the second row, and Jason needs to clamber back some points here from Fabrizio Giovanardi, who's had a good day so far, so let's see if he can do that. And watch for the fast starting Matt Jackson from the second row, the white and black BMW. Lights out, here we go, we're racing, and here comes Jackson through the middle, and from the second row it is Matt Jackson who makes a breathtaking start. He takes the lead into Old Hall. Adam Jones, and there's a little tap there with Darren Turner. Jason Plater goes round, and that's Matt Neal in trouble. Oh, he makes contact with Turkington as well as they come out of Old Hall.
Yeah, but Matt Neal picked up a puncture immediately, so he's going to be out of this race. Turner moves over straight away from Plato, and Turkington's gone as well, probably with a puncture.
Yeah, he had a puncture as well.
And Neal pulling off in the background, so the two of them out.
We've lost two potential race winners in the first two corners. Colin Turkington won earlier on. Matt Neal was fast all day. We've lost them both already.
Oh, that was a disaster for them. Matt Neal got a tap from behind. He was fully sideways, and well, that's Giovanardi.
Yeah,
that's Giovanardi. Was he involved in that as well? But with that damage to the front car, I don't know whether he'll be able to carry on, but obviously the safety car's coming out. But great start by Matt Jackson. We thought he might get through that gap. He lit it up perfectly, and now it's his moment to shine. He's been on the podium already this year.
Let's see what he can do. The safety car is waiting for them at the line. Now remember, they can keep racing until they get to the line, so they're all still fighting for position here. Chris Stockton has got a battle. There's Colin Turkington's car. They're trying to ease it out of the gravel trap. That's pretty hard work because it's dug itself in there, and they're trying to get those cars removed as quickly as possible. A real dramatic start. Matt Jackson is your race leader. Adam Jones is still running in second, and then the two Seats behind of Turner and Plater. They'll come round and be picked up by the safety car here. Then they have to back off.
They are, but just behind there's been a fierce battle, and there Stockton gets pushed out wide by Onzo Cole, I think it was.
Yeah, I saw that in the background. Chris Stockton suddenly ended up on the outside. Oh, John George is off. He's gone off at Lodge Corner. Presumably that was just as they came round.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, the team would have told him on the radio that the safety car was out, so really he shouldn't have been pushing it that hard to go off, unless, of course, he was assisted.
There's been a lot of drama on that opening lap. Let's just try and tell you what's going on. Matt Jackson, the rookie driver, is leading in his privateer BMW. Adam Jones in second place. And then we've got Plato and Turner. Let's just take a look back. This was from onboard Mike Jordan. I don't think he had a very good opening lap. Let's see, that was Jackson flying.
He was. I mean, he would have been praying that those two cars didn't come together and pitch him up in the air, but they didn't. It all worked out perfectly. Now watch Matt Neal. He goes in tight, gets squeezed, tries to hold it, does the old windscreen wiper, bang. Oh, Mike Jordan got hit badly as well. We didn't know that.
So he got taken out in that same accident, and in fact, yeah, he's down in...
And there's Giovanardi. I think Giovanardi hit Jordan. Let's watch on board with him.
So, on board with the Italian, there's Mike Jordan to your left, the car that we were riding with a moment ago. Matt Neal straight ahead. Now watch what happens here. Matt Neal goes into the corner on the inside of Plato. There's the initial contact.
Yeah, Matt Neal spinning out. They don't know which way to go. Oh, that's what happened. Jordan got pushed to the side, collected Giovanardi and turned him straight into the wall. Well, just circumstances there. Oh, Jordan nearly got collected again as he came back onto the circuit.
So they both rejoined. Giovanardi's now running 15th. He actually got past Jordan on the rest of that lap, so he's now in 15th place, and Jordan is 16th. This is on board Turkington.
Now he's the innocent party in it, or one of the innocent parties in it, of course. On the right-hand side, you'll see Matt Neal just arrive in the corner a bit tight, touch Plato, that's enough to turn the car around. He tries to save it. Turkington goes out wide, bang, that's where he collects his rear collects with the front. He's got a puncture now, he tries to turn into here, the right rear's punctured, the car just swaps ends.
No chance at all for the race 2 winner, Colin Turkington, who ended up in the gravel trap. Race over for the Team RAC machine. Now, looking second to last there's the John Guest car of Mike Jordan. As we saw, he was absolutely involved in that as an innocent victim, and we've got the radio with him, so we'll see if we can grab a quick word. There's Giovanardi coming in, just ahead of him, the car that he made contact with. Giovanardi coming in. Let's see if we can have a word with him. It is Ben to Mike in the car. Mike, you were really out of luck there. You just seemed to have nowhere to go, mate.
No, I could see Matt got a little bit tagged on the exit, and I was trying to get over as much as I could, and he went one way, then just bit back the other way, and just tagged my left rear wheel, which at the minute I'm not sure. I think it's probably bent something, so I nearly spun it twice when I got going again, but I managed to just keep my foot hard on the brakes on the grass and then get it nailed in first gear to bring it round again. So if it's okay, I think we can still have a good race from here.
Always optimistic. I think you managed to take Fabrizio completely. You didn't mean to, I know, but I think he was the one who got caught with you. Giovanardi's just been coming to the pits. He's retiring.
Yeah, Giovanardi has
You know what it's like. It all happened so quickly. I was just trying to. I'd seen Colin going around the outside, tried to give him some room, and then it all cracked off ahead. But hey, we've had one good race. We'll try and do the best we can.
Okay, you keep it up, well done.
Yeah, didn't mean to chip in on him there. He's remarkably upbeat considering he's just had a massive turnaround and shunt. But that's the mark of racing drive. You put it straight out of your mind, you concentrate on where you are, what you've got to do, get on with it. Meanwhile, Giovanardi come into the pits, hold radiator, the Go-Jacks have gone under it and he's back in the garage, so no points for him from this race.
Now this is a real chance for Plato to get something back here this weekend. Giovanardi's has had a couple of strong results already today, but now it's Plato's turn possibly. He's running in third position, but Matt Jackson leads the race. Lights are out on the safety car. Matt Jackson weaving that BMW around vigorously to try and build up some tyre temperature. That's where the BMWs could be in a little trouble. They'd take a lap or two to get the tyres up to temperature, so watch for Adam Jones in the silver, red and blue car behind him, and then also for Jason Plato, who is ahead of his teammate Darren Turner.
Yeah, Jackson's going to work really hard, especially while he's got Jones behind him just for a little while. Plato will be eager to get past as soon as possible, but he won't want to risk anything against these two young guys desperate for a good result.
Here we go, safety car in. Matt Jackson floors the throttle and the BMW eases away. Adam Jones, the Solihull racer, only in his second proper meeting of British touring cars because the car packed up on him at the second event that he went to, and so he's sat out a couple. The team was busy doing other things, but Jones is racing well here in second place. Plato in third, then Turner in fourth place, then Tom Onslow Cole. He's had a wacky weekend, that's for sure, but he's running well in fifth. Matt Allison is in sixth, Tom Chilton seventh, and Gordon Shedden, who started towards the back, he's in eighth. He could be a threat as we go through this race as well, but he'll need to pick up a few places in these next couple of laps.
Yeah, well, there's plenty going on. Matt Jackson using all the road and a little bit more, but Louise has got Giovanardi in the pits. Let's hear from him.
His car is a mess, and I can tell by the look on his face that he's not a very happy man.
No, I'm not happy because I don't understand who was to hit me in the back, and unfortunately I crashed my car. I tried to restart, but I lost the radiator, so I had to just to stop. Yeah, he's racing, but the first corner, I really don't understand. Anyway.
Thank you.
So a real blow there for Fabrizio Giovanardi, but watch this race between Matt Allison in the white and black car. He's being chased by Tom Chilton, the other Vauxhall, the only remaining works Vauxhall in this race now, of course, and look how close he is. Allison's a bit wide, he doesn't want to go off there, he's already crashed there once today.
Yeah, he had a little assist there from Chilton, didn't he, which was a bit rude in the fastest corner, but they were side by side through the Knickerbrook complex. I've not seen that before, and certainly Allison doesn't lack for anything in terms of bravery.
The Shedden's gone through as well, so Gordon Shedden has moved up one, he's now into seventh place, and he could still be a threat. It's Matt Jackson who leads the race though, and doing a beautiful job. Adam Jones doing well in second place, and Matt Jackson's just set the fastest lap. Race leader going very quickly indeed as this battle between Tom Chilton and Gordon Shedden continues down the hill towards Cascades. The Scotsman who won earlier on, he's going for it down the inside. Oh, that's a good brave lunge from Shedden. Now can he hold it? Yes, on the exit, great pass.
That was a peach. It's a lovely place to pass that. You just let the car go round to the left, carry a bit more speed. Fortunately, Chilton was a bit deep and wide as well, but there was no contact made. And Shedden, who won the first race with no ballast, finds himself with no ballast in the third race in a very fast car.
So he's up into sixth position. We're on board with Jason Plato running in third place, tucked in behind Adam Jones. Adam Jones might be a new boy to British touring cars. He's got a pretty good heritage of racing. You know, he used to race in karts against Fernando Alonso and Gary Paffett, so he's raced top quality karting. He went into single seaters. He's a quick GT driver as well, as you know, Tim. You've raced with him, and he's holding on to second place.
Yeah, he's got that GR Asia Air Cool Engineering sponsored car going really well. GR Asia running in the World Touring Car Championship with Tom Coronel, so there's nothing they don't know about these Seats, but as you say, very talented, very adaptable. Adam Jones racing a Lamborghini GT car in Snetterton last week. You can't get much more different than that.
That's right, and he's fast in whatever he pedals, and he's under pressure here from Plato. Plato in third place. What a chance this is for Plato to completely reverse his fortunes here today. He might have dropped to 12 points behind Giovanardi. Giovanardi, we know, is out of this race, and Plato currently in third place. He could make up, if he gets ahead of Jones here, he could get right back on terms with Giovanardi in the points, so it will be important to him, but he won't want to take any big risks and end up damaging the car. Jones is wide. This is a chance for Plato surely to go into second place. You were right there with him, and he's got the place from Adam Jones.
Yeah, Jones had no choice but to lift there on the grass because it's so bumpy, and Plato's been patient. He had his wingman behind him in Darren Turner, so there was no need to be overly aggressive. He's just waited for this race to come to him. At least second place for now. He'll know that Giovinardi is out of it because the team would have told him, so that was just a perfect opportunity. Here we go. Watch how bumpy it is on the grass once the car starts bouncing there, and he has to lift off.
Yeah, well, Jones was sensible. That was actually classy driving. A lot of drivers would have lost it in that situation. He did lift off, kept it straight. Plato was through, but at least Jones still holding on to third place, whereas a lot of less experienced drivers or less wary drivers would have perhaps put that car in the wall. Behind them, Darren Turner is still running in fourth position, and then behind him it's Tom Onslow-Cole, who was almost alongside him into the hairpin, I noticed last time around. But watch Gordon Shedden, because again he is now closing up on that BMW of Tom Onslow-Cole.
Yeah, and he has the fastest lap of the race, just came up there. So this is Mike Jordan trying to fight back. Now he's following Fiona Leggett down into the island hairpin. She brakes late, he brakes even later, down the inside. Does he overrun? Not really, no. Gets it turned and gets inside. Nice pass, Mike.
Mike Jordan into 9th place now, so he's back in the points already. He got past Martin Bell. I think this is, yeah, Bell was a bit slow out of that hairpin or whatever, and Jordan was able to just breeze past him.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Martin Bell missed a gear or whether that car is just dog slow in a straight line, but there's never been any lack of oomph underneath the Integra bonnet, has there?
No, that's right. It's always been a fast car. Jackson looks great, though, leading this race, but he does have championship protagonist Jason Plato behind him now, wanting the maximum points from this race, knowing that the Vauxhall of Giovinardi is back in the pit garage. Just seen Chris Stockton come through the pits. It's not proved to be a particularly lucky third race for him. But there you are, Gordon Shedden, again, a fastest lap for the Scot. There's no doubt that he is going to be a threat as we go through this race. We still haven't reached half distance, and he is closing on that group ahead.
Yeah, that was 2 consecutive fastest laps, and of course, if the front close up a bit and go a bit defensive, that could all work in his favour. But Matt Jackson is driving fantastically. The reigning the reigning SEAT champion, beg your pardon, and really seizing this opportunity in the ex-Andy Prio car with both hands.
Yeah, it's lovely to see Matt Jackson making the step up to British Touring Cars. The 25-year-old from Henley and Arden, he's had a couple of strong second-place finishes already this year, and a third as well last time out. That race 3 at Croft, he drove another great race there. Looking back here though, Adam Jones is coming under a bit more pressure. He's in the silver, red and black SEAT Toledo, but it's the yellow and silver SEAT of Darren Turner that's keeping him honest. And look how Gordon Shedden is definitely on the back of this group now in the Team Halfords car. There was a little puff of smoke as he locked a rear wheel under braking at Cascades, but that didn't cost him any time. Shedden currently in 6th, but in touch with the battle for 3rd.
Yeah, but 8 laps in, and Adam Jones is still there in 3rd place. So, you know, he's doing a great job. They're all piling up behind him, and you sort of have the feeling that, unmistaken, he could lose 3 places in one go.
Yeah, but as you said, you know, he's not the sort of guy who makes mistakes that easily. He's a pretty solid racing driver, but he's not really been quite in a position like this to get a podium finish in British Touring Cars. So the pressure might tell, I suppose. We'll see what happens in the remainder of this race. We've had 7 laps completed. We're on lap number 8 out of 17, and climbing up the hill, still Jones there in 3rd place. Darren Turner behind him for SEAT Sport UK. He's chased by Tom Onslow-Cole in the Team RAC BMW, and then right behind him is the race 1 winner of today, Gordon Shedden in the Team Halfords Honda Civic, and he is looking very fast as they come. Look how Onslow-Cole's having to defend.
Yeah, he is, defend right across the inside, and Shedden's going to try and go outside, maybe cut back. We saw Giovinardi trying to do that, didn't we, at the end of the second race? It is possible, but you need a perfect exit, and he hasn't quite got it.
No, but that Civic's looking great. He can choose his line much more so, I think, than the BMW. He might even have a go into Old Hall Corner, late braking. That was where he made his move on Turkington in an earlier race today, and that was another great pass from Gordon Shedden.
Yeah, that was done purely on the brakes, and he's really driving well, isn't he? You'd think it was McNeil from last year in that car. He's really driving it fantastically.
Well, he was bubbling about how good this car is now, how much they've worked on it, how much they've developed it since the start of the season. He was thoroughly relishing getting behind the wheel in the practice and qualifying yesterday. There's a mistake. There's a mistake from Shedden just when he didn't need it. And now he's side by side once again with the BMW of Tom Onslow-Cole. But it's Onslow-Cole who's now got the inside for Nico Brook.
Yeah, commentators cursed there, but he can't fight back on this occasion. He's going to have to do it all again, and that's lost him the opportunity and, crucially, a few laps to maybe close up on the others in front. But let's not forget Matt Jackson's still out in front of Jason Plato. This family-run team, he's got his brother now, I think, as team manager. That's his older brother, Dan. His father's Tony is already team principal, so a really, really family-run team.
Car was moving quite a lot, though, through Druids. A little bit of a movement that he wouldn't have liked, and Plato may be allowed to get a fraction closer now. This is going to be a pressure few laps, isn't it, for Matt Jackson? Can he keep Plato behind him for the remainder of this race? We've had one BMW win today already in the wet conditions. That was Colin Turkington. Now it's bone dry. Different team, of course, as you say. It's very much a family-run team, but so far so good, although he was just a bit sideways over the curb on the exit of Old Hall. He's got to look after those tyres a little bit.
Yeah, he has. The car is obviously a bit oversteery in its balance, and it is going to look even there on the exit. He's twitching to oversteer, but he's driving absolutely to the maximum, and it's not as though Plato is leaping up behind him.
Here comes Darren Turner on the attack behind, and also here comes Gordon Shedden, also looking to reclaim that spot that he had done on the previous lap. Onslow Cole covers it well, though. That was intelligent driving from another of the top rookies in this year's championship. Onslow Cole yet to win his first race. Matt Jackson looking as though it might be here that he takes his first race victory, but let's not say that yet. There's still a long way to go in this race. Onslow Cole keeping Gordon Shedden behind him. Then it's Tom Chilton, who's not quite able to maintain the pace. Here's the battle for third place, and Darren Turner's got alongside Adam Jones, and he's in position surely now to take third position away from Jones up towards Druids. This is where he should complete the manoeuvre, and Jones can do nothing.
Yeah, he was alongside and coming out of Knickerbrook, so I guess that Adam Jones maybe ran a little bit wide, but that's still side-by-side racing over a blind crest at 120 miles an hour.
So we've got a BMW leading, then a Seat second, a Seat third, a Seat fourth, and then another BMW next up in fifth place, thanks to Tom Onslow Cole, and then it's the Honda of Gordon Shedden in sixth, the Vauxhall of Tom Chilton in seventh, and then another Seat. Matt Allison's running in eighth place. Mike Jordan is still in ninth place, having made up those places earlier on, but now he's finding it a bit more difficult to close the gap because he's quite a long way behind Matt Allison. Behind him is Martin Bell, so Martin Bell could be on for a point here today, and that would certainly be a little bit of satisfaction for another privateer independent outfit. That would make them very happy indeed. Richard Marsh running 11th, and Aircut is in 12th place. Here we are with Gordon Shedden trying to find a way past that BMW of Tom Onslow Cole, who's a touch wide on the apex, and that's given Shedden the chance now to get alongside old boys behind. Let's not end up with some damage in the tyre wall.
No, well, that's what happened in the second race at that corner. Shedden ended up with his wheel collapse from as he playing ping pong in the corner, but he's got back that time, just managed to get inside Onslow Cole on the hairpin.
So again, both of them have made a similar mistake there. They've both braked a fraction too late and given the other one the chance to get alongside.
Yeah, they have, but let's give a mention here to Tom Chilton, because he's now suddenly on the back of this after a difficult weekend, both in terms of outright pace and results. He's really trying to salvage something for this last race, and he's driven his heart out to get on the back of these group.
Now look at the leader, under pressure from Jason Plato, and they've got Jim Pocklington, the back marker, who they're about to lap. So this could be an opportunity for Plato. Makes you wonder if he thought, right, time to push here. Might be chances coming up with slower cars, although Pocklington gets well out of the way there, moves to the outside of the track. Stockton's out. We saw he had problems earlier. He was in the pits, or whatever it is. Looks like a mechanical issue that's put Chris Stockton out of the race in the Lexus. And the battle for the lead continues between this man, Matt Jackson, the youngster, the rookie, up against one of the most experienced competitors there is in British touring cars, former champion Jason Plato.
Yeah, there are places, aren't there, where Jackson's car looks really good, and he moves ahead, but certainly on the brakes it looks like Plato is a bit stronger.
Yes, just a little bit there. Again, it's the hairpin, you can see. Very close. He uses a lot of curb coming out of the hairpin, does Matt Jackson. Doesn't seem to hurt him too much, and he's still quick up the hill, back down the other side. They're up to about 120 miles an hour here as they come down the hill. Darren Turner in a third place. And then you've got Adam Jones under a bit of pressure from Gordon Shedden. And then look at this, Tom Chilton, who you mentioned earlier, he's now putting the pressure on Onslow Cole.
Yeah, well, look how quickly that Shedden has caught up behind, and there's a bit of a gap there as they come past Pocklington. I mean, Shedden has really quick, and he's got alongside Adam Jones there, just coming up the hill. But he closed up. Yeah, he closed up very quickly after he got past Onslow Cole, which is why he'll be ruining that mistake that he made earlier and let Onslow Cole get back past him.
Pocklington's off. He was letting all the cars through. I don't know what's happened there. He was keeping well out of the way. But Gordon Shedden is now in 4th place. There he is. The Team Halfords car has got past Adam Jones, so he's made great progress here as Gordon Shedden. Remember, race 2 was a disaster for him, so he had to start right from the back here in race 3, and he's fought his way up, as we've come to see several times. But there's the battle for the lead. We're on board with Jason Plater. You're running in 2nd place, and you're still hounding the youngster, and that is Matt Jackson. Can Jackson hold on here for another few laps? Down the hill they come. Watch the cars here, Tim. How's it looking from Matt Jackson's point of view?
Well, it's looking good, but you noticed on the run down to Cascades before he got to the braking area, you saw his brake lights flash on, and they did again there before the braking area. So what is happening is he's having to pump the pedal a little bit with his left foot, probably after he goes over the curbs and knocks the pads back, a little bit of pad knockoff. But that doesn't do a lot for your driver's confidence, but it does an awful lot for the guy following when he sees you're actually a little nervous on the brakes.
Man on the radio to Matt Jackson from the pits is 2 times British Touring Car champion Chris Hodgetts, and he talks Matt around through the race, and they have a great relationship. And Chris Hodgetts says sometimes it's a bit like driving the car myself again, but of course it's Matt that's doing the hard work, but they do have a good relationship. Matt listens to everything Chris tells him, and they work extremely well together, and at the moment it's very effective. As you can see, he's still holding off Jason Plato, but there are still several laps to go. We're on lap 13 out of 17, and Plato's beginning to look a little more threatening here.
Yeah, that BMW has very good straight line speed. It's always well up in the speed traps. Of course, the Seat not quite so good, so you've got a situation where at least Matt's got a quick engine underneath him, so the little mistakes he makes in the corner, at least as you see there, he can get a good exit and drive away on the straights, but Plato's quicker on the brakes and quick around the corners.
Jason a little frustrated with the straight line speed of the Seat, and he knows that it makes it much harder to get in position to overtake someone. If he gets in front, he says he can stay there because the car is very quick, has a fantastic chassis, but trying to get past other cars can be a bit of a challenge, and that's the situation he's got here again, I would say, as he chases down Matt Jackson. So 13 laps completed. We're on to lap number 14. Jason Plato 2nd, Darren Turner a little further back for Seat in 3rd, but still Seat could score extremely well here in the final race of the day. Vauxhall, their big rivals, have only got the 1 car in the top 10, and that's in 7th place courtesy of Tom Chilton, with Giovinardi going out earlier. We'll keep an eye on Gordon Shedden though in 4th place and just see whether he can close the gap to Turner.
Yeah, and obviously there behind him, Adam Jones is still managing to fend off Tom Onslow-Cole and Tom Chilton.
Yeah, and Chilton could still maybe move up the order a little more. He could do with a confidence-boosting result to end the day here at Oulton Park. And out he comes from Knickerbrook. Sunshine we've got now. Look, casting shadows across the track. A day that forecasts a huge amount of rain for the whole country, and certainly this area actually hasn't been too bad at all. We had the one wet race number 2 of the day, but wonderful conditions now. It's warmed up beautifully, and here comes Chilton chasing down Tom Onslow-Cole as he comes out of Druids Corner up towards the famous Lodge Corner now. Tricky right-hander plunging downhill. Will he try and go around the outside? Decides against it.
Yeah, he can't go around the outside really, because the car is always going to lean on you in the corner in this sort of form of racing, but he is trying to just set the guy up, make him outbrake himself. Maybe Onslow-Cole would outbrake himself from the inside and he could cut back, but not that time.
Onslow-Cole made a mistake in qualifying yesterday. He crashed coming out of the next corner that they're coming down to, but today he's driven well. He did make a little mistake in the wet here as well, ran wide, but he fought his way back up the order. Then he had a throttle body problem at the end of race 2, and it lost him 3 crucial places. He was running in 10th place. It dropped him to 13th as he struggled out of the final corner. Now he's still managing to keep his head while Tom Chilton applies massive pressure from behind in that Vauxhall.
Yeah, this is the ebb and flow of touring cars, isn't it? You're either giving the pressure or you're taking it. But one man who's doing it really well is that man there in the air-cooled engineering car. That's Adam Jones. This is the sort of result that the team and the driver really want. It's a top 5 on merit at the moment. I hope he stays there. But you know, that's an old car. It's a 2004 car, and he's driving it really, really well.
Yeah, it's lovely to see, as you say. And well, this is a bit of a race about rookies, isn't it? I mean, you know, look, got Matt Jackson leading the race at the moment. He's a rookie in touring cars this year. Adam Jones, who's driven well, he's running in 5th place. Tom Onslow-Cole in the BMW, another rookie in this year's championship. And in a little bit of a mirror of the Lewis Hamilton effect in Formula 1, we're seeing youngsters here really showing well, but there's a chance for Tom Chilton to get alongside. He couldn't quite make it all the way.
No, you're absolutely right. It's good to have new blood in all the series. I know I have to race against them, but it's great to have young blood coming in. It gives us a lot of excitement. Oh, that's Fiona Leggett.
Yeah, Fiona's in trouble. Looks like a collapsed suspension or something. rubbing onto the front tyre.
Yeah.
Oh,
Onslow Cole's gone.
Yeah,
on
Onslow
the
Cole.
exit of Oulton Hall.
So he was battling away for 6th place with Tom Chilton. What has happened? Has there been any contact, or did he just run wide? It's a classic place for running onto the grass on the exit of the corner, and maybe he just ran a bit wide and he's dropped back, but he hasn't lost that many places. He may only have lost 1 place, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because the way the car was spinning, it looked like it had maybe had some contact, but we'll have a look. Let's see if we've got a replay of it. Here we go. Chilton behind, coming into the first corner. He locks up a little bit. Chilton sniffs an opportunity, dives out the side, but you're right, he did it all on his own, just ran wide, took too much corner entry speed.
Well, there you see the effect of pressure for lap after lap, and Chilton did make it pay off. Tom Onslow Cole made that little mistake. Now, can Jason Plato do the same to Matt Jackson? That's the question. But when they come around at the end of this lap, it will be to start the final lap of this race, the final lap here today at Oulton Park for the touring cars. Can Matt Jackson keep this former champion and the man who's fighting for this year's championship behind him? Look how close Plato is out of Lodge Corner, almost nudges the back of the BMW, but then the BMW gets the drive off the corner, and as they cross the line, there's several car lengths between them.
Yeah, I think Plato actually ran into the back a little bit, and that just cost him the impetus he gained through the corner.
So out of Old Hall, neither of them running wide there, where Onslow Cole went off a moment ago. Down the hill once more into Cascades. We're into the final 3/4 of a lap, and a slightly wider line from Jackson, but still neat and tidy onto the apex. He has driven superbly here so far. Can he keep it together on this final lap of the race? Plato will look for the chance to take victory, but he won't want to take a big risk and lose 2nd place, and I'm sure Matt Jackson's absolutely aware of that.
Yeah, but he'll be trying. Matt Jackson's just got to keep it tidy, done what he's done for the last 16 laps, and he'll manage to bring it home, and there'll be jubilant celebrations in the pit lane if he can do it.
This is quite a story for Matt Jackson. Just half the lap now to complete, if he can hold on for his first win in British Touring Cars, in his first season of British Touring Cars, in this privately run car, a family-run team. It's a wonderful outfit. There's a great team spirit there, and so far so good. He's into the penultimate corner. He's way ahead of Plato. He's got several car lengths advantage. Got to get out of there neatly. He does so. 2 or 3 cars. There's one more potential overtaking opportunity, and he's coming up to it. It's Lodge Corner, but surely Plato's not close enough. In the background, Gordon Shedden's attacking for 3rd, but the checkered flag awaits, and we have a brand new winner in the British Touring Cars. It's Matt Jackson who takes the victory. Jason Plato finishes in 2nd place, and who's it going to be in 3rd? I think it's just Aaron Turner, yes, from Gordon Shedden in 4th place, and Adam Jones is going to come home to finish in 5th. But Tim, what a story. Lewis Hamilton's done it in Formula 1, now Matt Jackson's done it in touring cars.
The young blood is taking over, and it just shows if you put a guy in a good car, he can do the business. He's been a champion before, and he's showing real pedigree. And you know, these young guys are going to have all the team managers in the works teams looking at them.
Oh, that was a beautifully driven race. His father is team principal, his brother is team manager, and they all work so hard on this project, and he's already had several podium finishes this year. He had a 2nd place at Rockingham, he had a 3rd place last time out at Croft, and now he's come through to take his first win, and he was under pressure throughout. You can't say he did anything wrong at all. Wheel perfect despite pressure from one of the top drivers in the championship, Jason Plato, behind him. So the result, Jackson takes the victory from Plato and Turner. Good race that for Sayat. Gordon Shedden in 4th, Adam Jones in 5th, ahead of Chilton, Tom Onslow Cole, Matt Allison finally getting some points after some tough times recently. Mike Jordan was 9th, and Martin Bell took the final point for 10th. So down the hill, and doors open as these guys just try and cool down a little bit as much as anything. It's warmed up here this afternoon, and Matt Jackson will be celebrating this one for a while. There's the team. There's Dad down there, brother as well, the whole crew just lapping this up. What a fantastic day for Tony Jackson. There's Chris Hodgetts celebrating as well, and as I said, he's the man on the radio who's guiding Matt through the race as much as possible, and again, those two guys have worked beautifully well together here today, and many congratulations to the team. We'll get a word from him soon, but this is a very special moment to win your first British touring car race, and especially in your first season of racing, and you're not driving for one of the big works teams. Yes, the reverse grid helped him, but you can't say that he didn't deserve this one, because he's been on the pace throughout the season so far, and he has proved that he's got some ability there, there's no doubt. So let's just take a little look at what that means in terms of the points. It was Giovanardi who was going so well here, but look, Plato has gathered it all back together. They are absolutely together in the points, both on 149. Matt Neal in third place, Turkington just 4 points behind in fourth, Chilton in fifth, Darren Turner in sixth place. Matt Jackson's come up a bit as well. He's now in seventh place, ahead of Gordon Shedden, Mike Jordan in ninth position, and Tom Onslow-Cole in 10th place. So Fabrizio Giovanardi didn't quite have the day that he was hoping for after those first two races, but it sets it up beautifully with them tied at the top. We'll be right back with reaction after the break. And Matt Jackson celebrates a very, very special moment as he's taken his first ever win in the British Touring Car Championship, and he can celebrate with the family, with the crew. There's Chris Hodgetts celebrating with him as well, former double champion. Well, while he's celebrating that, Warren has caught up with third place finisher Darren Turner.
Thanks very much, Ben. Darren, a very eventful race, a very eventful weekend, but you finally pulled off a third today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously starting on the front row would have been nice to have finished second or first, but I didn't have the best of start. Matt again with the BMW flying off the line, and got a great lead, and I didn't realise Jason was on the outside of me as we went through turn one. So I hit the curve, went a bit wide, and then looked to my mirrors, and there's Jason bouncing along the grass, so had to get out of his way pretty sharpish. But yeah, overall, considering how the first two races went, pretty pleased to get a podium at the end of the day.
Definitely. Now, there was some talk from another team suggesting that perhaps you aren't doing a lot of development with your cars, that you're just polishing them every weekend. Now, two of your cars are here and that team's cars aren't. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, this car has now been around for at least 2 years, and as you get older, the car development slows down. But, the guys still are back at the workshop. They're trying as hard as possible. They're still thinking of new ideas, and we're trying to make them work on race weekends. But when you're not away testing between races, it's very hard to put things on and keep them on for the whole race without actually doing back-to-back testing with them. So, we're definitely not resting on our laurels, that's for sure, and the team will keep pushing as hard as possible all the way through the season.
More to come from the car, more to come from you.
Definitely more from me, and hopefully a bit more from the car as well.
Nice one. Thank you very much, Darren.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, Warren.
Right. Chris Hodgetts here. Chris, how do you make of that race?
Over the moon. I've looked after Matt since he started his karting days all the way through, so basically I'm in the car with him, talking to him on the radio. I'm driving the car with him. I've won this championship a couple of times myself, and I know how hard and difficult it is, and he drove absolutely superb. After the restart, I told him qualifying laps, and he did exactly that. I'm absolutely delighted, yeah.
So you're giving him the experience, helping him build the car, getting it out there. Are you guys going to be having a bit of a party tonight?
No, I had a party last night because I did the gig here at Silverstone at Oulton Park for the touring car paddock anyway. So we've had our party. I think we're all too tired and shattered. Probably I'll go with breakfast with Tony Jackson in Henley and Arden, have a nice Henley and ice cream tomorrow. That'll be the celebration.
Well, here's the man himself. He says he's the brains behind the operation. You seem to be the brawn. That went all right.
It's a team, and I think we've got together a really, really good team. We've got some great sponsors on board, and some new ones for this weekend. SinksandTaps.com, Butler's Vehicle Solutions. It's it's great for everybody that's involved in such a small team. We're a true independent team. I'll be unloading the lorry tomorrow. But no, it's a fantastic result for everybody that's involved with the team, and the BMW has been awesome today.
Great to get that out for the sponsors, but a lot of pressure out there. How much were you thinking, it's my first win, I've got to do it, or were you just taking this like any other race?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, when Jason's sat on your back bumper, it's there's a lot of pressure there, but you have to put it to one side, and at the end of the day, I know that we've got a quick car and we can race them fair, and we've got the pace, so no, awesome.
Well, the general theory is that the BMW is good off the start if you can get it away, and if you can get away clean. You certainly did all right, didn't you?
Yeah, we've had some awesome, some awesome starts in the car. But the problem is when you get to a tight little circuit like Croft, the last meeting, you can't really get through because it's so tight. You need quite a bit of space. But no, it's awesome. The BMW's been absolutely awesome today.
Well done. Thanks very much, Matt. Jason Plato. A weekend that looked like maybe the championship was getting away from you. Suddenly you're level on points again with Giovanardi at the end of it.
Yeah, well, it took an incident. It took a bit of good fortune. Our car the chassis is fantastic. It's clear for all to see. You know, we're quick on the brakes, we're quick in the corners, but we're just nowhere on the straights, and well, that's what we need to work on, because you know the engineers can't do anything about that on race day, and you know my car is consistently fantastic to drive, and it's a bit frustrating that every time we, even if I come out of a corner quicker than the guy in front, they pull away, and that was the again the story in that last race, despite having no ballast. That said, Matt drove an absolute blinder, didn't make any mistakes that cost him any time, and I'm really pleased for him. He's he's done a great job for the year, and it's nice for him to have his first win.
Good sportsmanship there. And of course, from what I gather you were saying there, maybe another 20 horsepower wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
All right. Thanks very much, Jason.